Welcome, folks, to week 4 of our Modern League. We are in round 1 here in lovely Buffalo Grove, Illinois. My name is Aviva Goodman, joined alongside Dominic Stryker. How you doing tonight, man?
I'm hoping you're hungry.
Yeah, we got our usual, our top seeded players right now, George and Tom at the top of that leaderboard. Tom, usually playing Hammer, is playing a food deck today. I went to register him under his usual deck, and he was like, nope. Nope,
Not
I'm
today.
switching it up. And George on the front feature for all you Jabor fans at home, playing his bread and butter.
Yeah, I wonder how long it's going to take George to figure this out. So we have two resident control players that we'll even call it three, who are very likely to push to the backup so that we know that they'll be there, so we can bring you the most magic possible. George is one, local Brian, Ray, a lot of people that will push to the back just to fill that space. They are hiding in the back, but George was like, I'm on front feature, and it's not for you, buddy. It's for us to find out about this cool as can be food deck out of Tom.
I think Gilded Goose is a pretty good signpost, I would say, for a food-based deck.
Almost, because it's a very good use for the 5th green creature for Yawgmoth for your for Delayed Halflings, maybe one Gilded Goose. Like that 5th dork is a little flex slot.
Sure.
This 2nd goose though, because even this marsh flat, you're like, oh, that could definitely be a Yawg one. I'm gonna go find my overgrown tombs. Beautiful, no problem.
That's a really good point. I hadn't thought about that. Gilded Goose, in my experience, is more of a signpost in Pioneer because that's a big Amalia tip off as well.
Oh yeah, because it's a way to start the life gain trend.
And just it's a mana dork because you want to get that combo going as soon as possible here.
And it's the same situation of this Gilded Goose being an 0-2. It's your only available mana dork after Delayed Halfling that survives Bowmaster.
Yeah. I was going to say Fury, but that's not a thing either.
Right, not quite anymore. But here, we're still not even giving away that much information. We have 2 foods, and we're fully prepared to put those into play. But Godless Shrine, I'm still not fully tipped off. Because a lot of the food decks we saw are Rakdos based, or
I think Gruul.
yeah, we saw Gruul for a while.
Archie's deck was Gruul. The nice thing about a control deck, though, counterspell hits whatever you want to play.
Yes. So that's the thing. I was talking with George, debating on playing the spice that he's playing last week, or going back to tried and true. I said, if you're trying to get reps in for Denver, you should just play what you're playing to play. Get your reps in, play good Magic, get in good habits, and be ready to play stuff at the RC in a few weeks.
I agree.
Or it's playing Spice.
Yeah. So we've gone back to that. Last week he played a pile.
4-color stone stuff.
Yeah. It was something for sure. Back to the goodness here. Blue-white control.
Oh.
Tom's sitting on.
I saw Ranger Captain, which is we're playing out here. That's meaning that counterspell.
That'll get counterspelled.
Which this is a great spot because George kind of gets to counter 2 spells this way. Because countering the Ranger Captain means that it won't get its ETB or the availability for its activated ability, which they silence for non-creature spells. Very good against control. But its ETB is probably very likely to go find Academy Manufacturer or Asmo, depending on what plan Tom's on. And by countering this tutor, George kind of gets both for 1 card.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's the thought when you have a tutor proper and a sorcery spell that you want to wait to counter the thing that they tutor for. But the Ranger Captain itself is a body, and like you said, it's got activated abilities. So that one you want to stop before it gets on the field.
Because if he just puts his 2/2 into play, that could just become a trouble for George 4 turns down the line as it attacks for 2, 4, 6, 8. Those things really add up. And the hardest part about control isn't really getting your lands together and putting your deck list together, but sometimes it can be choosing what is and isn't a problem for you and how to answer it, when to answer it, if you're going to even answer it at all.
Threat assessment, I would say, is the main skill there for sure. We'll go back to Tom's turn here.
That's Collected Company. Welcome to 2024. Coco's back.
I love this card. We'll see what he hits here, though. He doesn't have to reveal it to George. Yeah. He can make his picks in private. He'll get to pick 2 creature cards, DMC 3 or less.
Our hits are Grist, Wall of Roots, Bowmaster.
Ooh.
Doing a good Yawg impression.
I was about to say, yeah.
If we need the mana, we can take this Wall of Roots. Otherwise, Bowmaster Grist, and I'm going to work.
Absolutely.
And no need for the Bowmaster, so that says that I need big mana for stuff. and I believe Tom had 2 Court of Callings in hand. So this might be the reason that we're going to try to bank on these Wall of Roots.
Wall of Roots plus his Grist is going to make an insect here as well. So we'll get some value there.
Right, we did that at end step. So Planeswalkers are like really weird, right? Can only activate them
Awkward,
on your
yeah.
main phase. But still, you kind of got that card into play for free. 2 for 1 unlocked, right? Your Coco found you 2 things, and now Grist is just going to keep going.
Here come the Grist plus. We'll mill over another Coco. George fist pumped there.
Right.
Good to see that one in the bin.
Right, and if you like ask George his like list of cards you expected to play against today, Coco is nowhere on that list.
No way at all.
Main deck Haywire might. This deck seems to be taking a lot of its deck list, its tools, its idea from Yogg. A lot of the same toys are here.
It's very interesting because I've never seen Tom play anything except Hammer. So this is completely out of left field for me. I don't know what else he is experienced in playing with. So this is really exciting.
I'm seeing an Abrupt Decay in hand with the Can't Be Countered clause. So if George tries to get Teferi, Narset, something online, 5 minutes.
Full tap out for a Solitude.
Suddenly just the biggest thing in play.
At the Haywire Might, I think the motion was.
That's interesting, right? That may telegraph something that George wants to save later from the Haywire Might.
Probably a One Ring.
Right,
That's his classic.
And the other 2 cards are just kind of mana, right? Your Gilded Goose and this Wall of Roots do one thing, and that's make mana. So Haywire Might is the only thing unique in play that you can hit.
Agreed.
Allowing George to use our mana, get our 3/2 lifelinker, while taking out the one unique piece that is still in play.
And now George is the dominant creature on board as well. Like Yogg, Tom's creatures here, just kind of little guys. They are an engine, but on their own don't stack up too much.
Yeah, and what's hard about the Court of Callings that Tom is holding up, this Teferi is going to force action. And George is already incentivized to play around instant speed because of seeing the Cocos, right? George now knows that Tom's going to try to play around him and try to get his own instant speed interaction, which means he was already prepared for something of this like, which means Court of Calling doesn't even juke the patterning. It's the same as a Coco patterning. So if George was ready, like starting with the Teferi to gain as much info as possible.
Looks like a cord for 2 here.
And maybe that's why we didn't grab the Bowmaster before, hoping to transfer one of these into one.
Yeah.
Or get the Asthma package online if we really want. I see Delight. Oh, we're on the Samwise. That's the food we're eating tonight.
Oh, I haven't seen this in a while. I remember.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Is this the deck that Chris and I made for NRG?
I was about to say, this reminds me of the Chris Smith deck, yeah.
Tom, yes. All right, everyone. Samwise Gamgee is in the house. So if you haven't read Samwise Gamgee because you weren't there for like the 1 week where this card did anything in Modern, whenever another non-token creature ETBs, you make a food. You can sack 3 food to return a historic card from your graveyard to your hand. Importantly, you can use this with a Cauldron Familiar. So we'll see if that's floating around. And we did see Tom had Witch's Oven in his Coco. So we know that that card's in the deck. So now that means if we can unlock the cat works really well with this food engine because Samwise makes the food token for you to sack for it. And then you need a sack outlet that doesn't need to be so specific like Witch's Oven. It could be a sack engine for anything that sacks creatures, such as Yawgmoth or other things that are really, really good cards on their own.
Yeah, so a lot of good synergy in this deck. George will Prismatic Ending the Samwise, so we're not going to see too much going here yet. We'll see a combat damage at the Grist from the Solitude will bring her down to 1. Back to Tom's turn now. Life totals are 15 to 16, with the Solitude swing.
And this would make the most sense why we said Tom's deck felt like it was taking so much from Yawgmoth. It is. This deck is, when Chris and I were brewing it up, we called it Abzan Salmon Cat after the silly Disney Channel show.
The iCarly spinoff?
Yes, the iCarly and Victoria spinoff. Because they took Sam from one and Cat from another.
Right.
But that was Samwise Gamgee and your Cauldron Familiar, Sam and Cat. And we basically just made a 5-card package and slotted it into Yawgmoth and figured the rest out later. And I think over time, players like Sam Black and others picked it up and moved in like this kind of more grindier Abzan shell with cards like Ranger Captain and like.
So it's evolved a little bit from the initial brewing of the deck that you and Chris had in its beginnings.
Because it was just Yawgmoth with a little bit of spice, and now
Hmm.
this is like its own deck proper now.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll
So we
see.
got blinded by food, thinking it was, oh, this must be an Asmo food engine.
Hmm.
This is the Abzan like Samwise food engine.
Yeah, I like the update to the deck name there as well.
Wise food, wise
Wise
food
food.
rules.
I feel so wise
The
when
food
I'm.
make me smart.
Oh, if only.
Yeah. So I wonder if George got kind of taken on the same ride that I feel like we did.
Hmm.
Of you're trying to piece together like, right, what are in your opponent's deck. It's actually one of my favorite parts of playing Magic is when you play against a deck you haven't played before, and you suddenly have to go through like the Rolodex of all Magic cards, and you're like, what's in here? Who am I looking for? The joys of brews I think are fun for both sides of the table if you're willing to treat it that way.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want Magic to become stale, and with 30 years of cards, it's hard. You're hard pressed to do that. So that's the joy of coming to locals. Absolutely,
Yes.
is seeing new brews and new decks to play against here.
And with it being 2024, Modern is officially at 20 years of Magic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
With, I believe, 2004 being the cutoff where the cutoff for Modern is. So, Modern's old.
Modern can almost drink. That's crazy.
Depends on what country you're in.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, in this country.
Yes. And if you see the cards that Tom was milling over here from their grist, we saw Viscera Seer, which is the
Ooh.
cheapest possible sack you can get. Alongside, you could possibly play Carrion Feeder, but Viscera Seer allows you like churn through your deck and find other combo pieces.
Because it got the scry as the
Mhm.
reward for the sack.
So the full setup would be getting your Viscera Seer in play, your Samwise, and your Cauldron Familiar. And the thing is a lot of those cards incentivize you to want other things like Witch's Oven, Court of Clawing Ranger Captains, and you can kind of see where all the pieces for this deck fall together. And the question is will it all be stymied by 2 Solitudes and a couple counter spells?
Yeah, Georgian tapping with a bunch of lands here. He's got the creatures on board because I don't think this Samwise is looking to block. Tom now has his second copy out on the board, starting to assemble pieces again with this Witch's Oven now on the field as well. George up to 7 lands here, moving to combat. Just taking a quick peek at the board here, see what we're working with, and we'll turn both these Solitudes sideways.
We're going to block with these dice playing the role of insect tokens today. We'll get those quickly off the board as they both chump block a Solitude each.
Main phase 2 here, casting a 3-mana spell. And it'll
Let's pick up Kahira.
It'll be a Kahira pickup there with just 4 mana. We can't play her this turn.
Well, we could have, but then we'd be down from all of our interaction, right?
Oh, excuse me. I'm thinking of Gigantha. Oh, excuse me.
And what George is doing here is picking up Kahira for next turn to start giving these Solitudes +1 in Vigilance and being prepared in this moment to play something like this Subtlety on an important card.
On an important card, it's just a wall of roots. So it's very interesting to me here. Perhaps just looking to get the body out onto the field.
And the quasi Time Walk, right? Because if this card's important to Tom in some way, you have to put it on top. You have to draw a wall of roots for your draw next turn.
Ugh.
Or you have to put it on the bottom and hope for the randomness of your deck to be better.
So we'll subtlety that there. Tom still has a bunch of mana and some food to play with here.
And we're going to start using Gilded Goose to just continue the food engine. Because remember, if we sack 3 foods, we can pick up a historic card using Samwise's ability. So if something gets in there, I believe we haven't put a legend in yet, but if Grist ends up in there...
The Samwise should be in there? Oh, no, I got exiled.
Got exiled. That's the hardest part.
Okay.
What's really hard about control decks nowadays is Solitude, Prismatic Ending, Leyline Binding, even so far as cards like Sunfall. Your cards are going into exile, not the graveyard.
They're gone for good.
And so much of Magic is like using your graveyard as your second hand. And as they print more good exile removal, that's getting harder and harder to rely on.
George will swing this subtlety at the Grist to clean up that last point of loyalty. Last turn, Tom minused her to get rid of 1 Solitude. Life total still fairly even here. George back up to 20 with the Solitude life linkers there. Tom sitting at 15.
And if Tom doesn't like our hand, again, we could sack these 3 foods, pick up this Grist, and start our turn with that.
Could give that a go. We'll just pass back to George, though. Really letting George set the tempo of this game.
And the card in Tom's hand, you just saw him set it down, is Orcish Bowmaster. This will allow us a card to finish off this Narset. if it resolves. It's a card that'll give us 2 bodies if it resolves. And the question will really be, is Tom possibly getting combo blindness and maybe forgetting the second part of this Samwise? As I think there are very few targets outside of Grist and Samwise themselves
To accord for?
to pick up with Samwise's ability.
Oh, excuse me.
Because I think those might be the only 2 legends in the whole deck.
Switching the copies of Solitude. All right, going through combat there with a buffed couple of elementals. We'll bring life totals to 11 to 14 and a clear board on Tom's side.
And this really feels like we may have missed the second part of Samwise. Because now Samwise is gone and there's no Grist in our hand.
Yeah, we could have activated that at instant speed, so we
Yep.
could have blocked and still gained some value from it. We have 4 food on the table.
And I wonder if Tom's deck also has things like maybe Boseiju, Aganjo, Takanuma.
Ooh,
All the
sure.
lands that you get from Kamigawa are legendary, which means you could pick them up with your Samwise. So if your engine's really going, your engine could become Boseiju's, Takanuma's, Aganjo's too, if you'd like. And now George is on the full beatdown. Transition to the secondary game plan of ending the game.
These foods will stabilize Tom a little bit. Just going to take a few points of damage down to 7 here. George trying to put this game away. Play out a 1 ring.
And I wonder if that's the ring we've had for all these turns that we protected by removing the Haywire Might from play, or if we did that preemptively to use our mana, and now we finally found that payoff.
I think either one is likely here. George is a pretty proactive player and knows his deck inside and out.
I told George, if you're going to play control, you need to be prepared to finish the games. I am going to beat 002 out of George Jabor. That is my 2024 goal.
It's a valiant goal. I'll tell you that. I appreciate your hard work ahead of time.
Doing it here is very different than doing it at an LCQ, RCQ, RC. There are not a lot of those to go around
100%.
in those jam-packed fields with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Those need to be W's. As it looks like we searched for a Triumph, and now we're going to try to flash in this Bowmaster. In response to this ring activation. And that's fine, because I want to shoot the Narset anyways.
Yeah, Narset won't have protection from everything, just George himself, so we could do that before or after.
Don't be confused by the pro everything Narset token. She is not the one that is protected. And it looks like this was the case, and we have shot the Narset. Respond with his binding on the Bowmaster before resolution of our ring. Very tight play there. Will not lose anything. And
he has to shoot something, right?
Yeah, now the Bowmaster will be tucked away before the draw happens. And we have Manamo, we're untapping our ring. We're drawing 2 more cards. This has become divination and nothing. We haven't paid any life or any of that. And instead, Narset, we were protected, all was good. We've only taken 2 damage, but we've drawn 3 cards. So now, due to Manamo, we'll take far less life than the cards will draw. And now we play our Gaia Reach Sanitarium, fully set up, and we get the second Narset.
We got all the pieces, baby.
Like I said, finish the game.
You Tom not going out. Not going out without a fight, though. Down to 2 life here. Chipping a chair and some bowls of soup.
Yeah, literally, we're going to sack these bowls of soup.
Try and stay alive here. These creatures aren't
And now George
too
has the lock. So because Tom has no cards, we're going to Gaia Reach in the upkeep here. Force Tom to draw a card, discard, and it's discarding that only card. And the Narset says you only get 1, and you'll never go to draw step. And you can't cast the card in response. You must fully resolve the loot ability. You'll never have a card. The game will just go and go and go.
And that's game 1 to George. Nicely played there. Let's take a look at his deck list. What has he submitted tonight? Here we go. Full 75 of his submitted deck list. Let's take a look at this sideboard here. We've got Kikira sitting in that companion spot. Subtlety, Stern Scolding, Dovin's Veto, Ray of Revelation, Day's Undoing, Wear Tear, Supreme Verdict, and Cursed Totems.
All right. So this is still basically all of our Yogg sideboard cards apply. Subtlety and Stern Scolding, those are here to up the numbers in our matches against all of our Yogg players. It applies here. Stern Scolding should still hit Samwise, hits the cat, hits Viserys, hits Ranger Captain. It's going to hit all this stuff. Going to hit Grist, right? All of the targets still there. These Curse Totems, same deal. We'll make it so that we can't activate our Viserys or Samwise. So it helps a little bit, and we might get some like Yogg blindness or think that this might still be fully worth it. The Curse Totems are kind of on the fence, but it could be just enough to push through. Supreme Verdict, I don't mind going up to 4 here because that just allows you to wipe this board. You saw that Tom is trying to assemble a 3-card combo while spending a lot of turns with 1 or 2 of them in play. These verdicts get to kind of 1-for-1 that while cleaning up the rest while you're at it. What'll be interesting is there's also these 4 Dovin's vetoes. This because we're so worried about the Cascade matchups. But the thing is about this deck in particular, the Abzan food deck, Cord, Coco, and Witch's Oven, as well as I think we saw a couple other like interactive cards floating through the deck. You might have just enough cards you think are important. Like our counter spells that hit only non-creatures aren't the best against Yogg because the deck is creature based. But this deck has a little bit more of those tutors and spells that if we're feeling it, I wouldn't be shocked to see a veto or 2.
So a lot of good possible includes here. The question, of course, is what to cut out of the deck. You mentioned Supreme Verdict. There's already 3 of those in the main. The Dovin's vetoes, I feel like, is probably the weakest of the includes just because it is a pretty creature-based deck. There are some really good hits that it could get after.
I think I'm going to bring in Sub, the 3 Stern Scoldings, and a Supreme Verdict, and maybe 1 Curse Totem. And I would cut all 3 Teferis and all 3 Narsets.
All right.
Because Teferi just bleh. Just bleh sometimes in matchups like this when you're not playing against Murktide or like trying to go spell for spell with someone. When they're just putting a bunch of creatures in play, very mopey 3 that I would love for it to be a Stern Scolding, a Subtlety, or a Verdict.
Totally. All good thoughts there. Let's take a look at an example deck list we've pulled off of Goldfish here. Tom hasn't submitted a deck list, but this is potentially...
This feels right.
...what he could be working with here. This looks very similar to what we saw on board. Let's take a look at this sideboard here. Giant Killer, Haywire Mite, Collector Oof, Dranith, Magistrate, Endurance,
Oh yeah, Necroplasm?
Necroplasm, Fatal Push, Veil of Summer, Force of Vigor, and Chalice of the Void.
We won't have to worry about Necroplasm right now. This is the Yogg/Abzan Coco answers to Rhinos. The turn you played, it can blow up all the 0 drops, kind of like an EE would, but on a creature. So Necroplasm you might see as a toy out of our Yogg players later in the day or later in the month-year league. Not here, not this moment. What'll be interesting is if I was looking at this board, this sideboard, I want a Haywire Mite.
Veil of Summer seems pretty good.
And I'll take the Veil.
Yeah? Not too
I think
much
that's
else. Yeah.
But I do think, one, these, blue-white control decks, not the most popular thing to begin with. So if someone's just playing on Moto, you're not going to run into it that often, even though it does really, really well in challenges. Or you feel like this matchup's good enough. You just put a bunch of your little mopey guys, Grist, Cord, Coco, say you have to answer one of these eventually. Maybe this deck feels like you can just push through.
Yeah, we'll be on the play here, so maybe we just keep most of our good cards in and just try and go for that plan. Again, we'll tune back into the action here as players are shuffling up. I think we might be on some mulligans here.
And if you looked at that version, right, they had 1 Viscera, 1 Woe Strider, 1 Yawgmoth. So 3 different sack outlets to work from, trying to figure out where is exactly, who you want to have. Viscera being the cheaper, Woe Strider having a little more effect, Yogg having even more effect. But the more you pay, the better the card. So the question is, do you want the really good 1-drop or do you want the really good 4-drop?
And it could just come down to how much mana you have available as well when you're courting, how many creatures you have on board there. So generally you can get up to whatever amount you want. But we'll see what choices get made there. We did not see Tom play any sagas. You could be grabbing Witch's Oven off of that. And Haywire Mite.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if that's something
else, though, that I think of in the deck. And a 3-color deck makes sagas probably a little rough.
Okay.
See a Path to
Yes,
Exile.
I wanted to ask about this Path to Exile.
Okay.
So, if you're playing against blue-white control, that just beat you down with the Kahiras and Solitudes and Subtleties, is this possibly a case of immediacy, right? What just beat me? A bunch of your creatures.
I do that a lot when I sideboard. I'm like, oh, what did I just lose to? That's what I'm going to board against. And then I lose for a different reason. And I'm like, oh, I got to reboard now.
Right.
And it's one of the skills you got to learn to board for the general plan of what your opponent is trying to do than like you said, the immediate thing that you just lost to.
Yes.
Because a path might have been helpful for like a turn.
Yeah.
Last game, but I don't even think a path would have gotten him the win there.
And no. But the question will be why?
Or cookbooks. Oh, I didn't think about cookbooks. That could be a saga target as well.
Right. I would imagine Tom may not have sagas because we didn't see any like weirdo one of artifacts, right? We didn't see like a relic just randomly show up into play or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna guess that we most likely don't have them, but it's an interesting thing to think about. But it's hard because that's kind of the like side slant of, oh, this is good for cookbook, but cookbooks and the witches ovens are kind of a side thing to the combo overall. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like how much side to the side to the side
Yeah.
you end up like diluting what you have going on, and we might get too far from the main plan.
Yeah, this deck has a couple overlapping game plans because of the way that it was brewed together, sort of
Mhm.
bringing into two strategies. So, while like one like the complete food based combo would have Urza Saga and a Yawgmoth deck does not.
Mhm. Mhm.
You kind of gotta
Yes.
balance your mana base that way.
And I love a great comment from one of our chatters talking about the fact that Tom may have brought in some copies of Endurance. And I love Endurance against a control deck just for the fact that it has the word flash, right? Just allowing you more ways to tax their mana on their turn to either force interaction or make it easier on your own turn after the fact to interact. And I can understand it being worthwhile to have because you're already a Coco deck. And then you could even trim on some combo pieces, knowing that if they possibly get Supreme Verdicted, you can endurance them back into your deck.
First game, just like the second here, Ranger Captain will come down and it'll get counterspelled. Tom still has a wall of roots on the field, but that's not doing any attacking anytime soon.
No, no, not yet.
Peep the drip. Hey, I think that's Spice Rack creator himself showing up in chats. Check out the spicerack.gg sweatshirt George has on right now. I think he's got a
Oh
oh
my
oh
goodness! Yes, George! Yes, George! Check it out!
brand new tokens we just got in today, spoiled on Twitter this week. The new
Yes!
companion token from our Team Trios winner, Grayson, Matt, and Eric.
Local Eric, who you saw beating up some people with hammer in these past weeks.
There is our brand new companion token. Get them at our very first
So
event
sick.
next month in February.
I've been so excited to. It's been kind of a new spoiler week for me, seeing all the NRG tokens being posted on Twitter during the week.
Yeah, I think there's still a couple more to go. I don't think we spoiled them all. I can't remember, but
I
there's
don't.
some
I don't
there's some
think we
great
saw a
ones.
Hoey. I don't think we saw a Hobbs.
No, we haven't.
No, we
You're
have not.
right. Yes. We've seen
I've seen the
the
blood.
blood token and the plant token
Yeah.
is
Oh,
so
Kyle, shout out.
I knew
And
you were
then
gonna love that one,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's all the little small lips.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, and then this companion token from the Team Trios winners, unbelievable.
Yeah, if you want to get your own token, head on over to Elmhurst February 17th and 18th. The week before the Pro Tour, we will be having a double showdown weekend where you could win your very own token.
Tom
Made
here firing off
by
a
Inkling Customs.
yes. Shout out to Inkland. I may be getting some personal work done. As we see Tom with firing off this cord for 2, you can see George immediately in the tank. What is there to be worried about? Do you care if they get a Samwise? Do you care if they get a Bowmaster? Would you rather use a Solitude or a Binding, or would you rather use a Counterspell? These are the control player questions.
The cord resolves, and Tom will grab a Samwise Gamgee as his target.
The true hero of Lord of the Rings.
Oh, whoa. I don't think that's too spicy a take.
No,
I don't
they
know.
carried Frodo. Frodo was basically
S- s-
Dunzo Deadzo.
Absolutely, yes.
I'll carry you up the mountain.
With our last mana there, we'll play a Visceraseer.
Little stern scolding.
No, thank you.
Get the Visceraseer in the bin.
Back to George's turn now. Let's see if we can get a peek at his hand. No, he keeps them so close to his
Yeah.
chest there.
But we did see this stern scolding. This is brought in out of the board, part of our big Yogg package, but applicable against, I think, every card Tom's playing too.
Yeah, absolutely. Even the Grist.
Yeah, and that's the part that scares me to show up with something like what Tom is playing, is your deck's possibly older, cooler brother is really popular right now. Like, many believe Yogg might be the number one, might be in like the top 3. It's very popular here locally. So it's hard to bring something that plays into all the same hate. That's why I think it's so hard to play like Living End right now.
Oh,
When Rhinos and Yogg is so good, people have Cascade and Graveyard Hate, and those both line up to just murder Living End.
ooh, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought about it like that, where you have like the sideboard crossover.
Mm-hmm.
That's really interesting.
Living End catches a lot of splash.
Mm-hmm.
Same way, like Amulet being so popular really hits scales, and the other decks where it's like, oh, people already have an incentive to have all this artifact hate. Well, what if we just double it up? Or like all these Rhinos decks need to have Force to fight back against Chalice. Well, now they have Force to fight your Amulet. Like you have to be so careful about what is and isn't hitting your stuff, and that's why I'd be really concerned.
Yeah, really good points there. George has played a One Ring. He's going to cycle a Lorien Revealed as well. He's got these really cool.
Mhm.
George's been pimping out his deck
Yeah.
recently. You see these pre-ordered.
George and I come from the same school of thought. Our cardboard is I like
Mhm.
the best versions you can find.
Yeah, your deck is absolutely an expression of yourself when we see that here for sure.
See, as we see Tom, you can tell all these cards foiled.
Mm-hmm.
Rocking the bling.
Blingy bling bling.
That's why I like that Magic has introduced so many of these like alternate frames,
Mm-hmm.
is I can do non-foil bling.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Lots of full arts too. Very pretty stuff there if you don't like borders on your cards.
And then I'll have to consult the oracles. That is, oh yeah, we had this conversation in the Discord. These preordains
Berkman is not
are
a fan.
these preordains are a form of contention. Connoisseurs with taste, like George and I, love these preordains, and people who don't drive out to Wednesday locals hate these preordains.
Yeah, dude. Your opinion can become valid if you come show up in person.
It's valid in person.
Over the internet, it don't count.
Yeah, anybody can say anything in chat.
If they were in Japanese, would you like them better, Berkman?
Oh my! If it was the big preordain bubble lettering, but it was
Mhm.
oh, that'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Secret layers in Japanese win.
Ooh, good question. Good question. Who do we at for that? I don't know. Marrow is not. I think he's the only magic person I know to at, and he's definitely not involved with Secret Lair.
If we add Fire
Ooh.
Shoes, it'll get to someone.
Yeah, there you go. Curse
Totem.
Totem.
So, like I said, this was my big question. I wonder if George brought these in, seeing like, oh, you've got all the Yogg toys. The thing is I think this shuts down Viscera Samwise's activate ability, and Haywire Might. And that might be the end of the list.
Does it shut down the mana dirks too?
I believe it specifically does not hit mana abilities.
I feel like we've had this.
We've
question
had this
before.
conversation before.
House,
I'm not
do you know Resident Yogg?
We think maybe it does.
I believe that's what we figured out last time.
Activate abilities can't be activated. And this is the MH2. They would have put the mana ability thing. So
Yeah. Okay.
I think we're
Standstill also agreeing. It does stop.
we stop some mana abilities. Sometimes, yeah, we waffle back and forth. Like I swear we know the answer and they're somewhere.
Well, because that's sort of like an innately built-in thing
To a lot of cards.
Yeah.
So many of them be like, activate abilities can't be except for mana abilities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Curse Totem
Yeah,
completely
it's so
shuts
bad
down
for Yogg.
Yogg creatures. That's why we see every single deck list that we cut to has Curse Totems in the sideboard.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes a full 4, usually 2, sometimes 3.
And that's kind of the joys of the internet osmosis is people will zero in until they find like exactly the targeted sideboard card that you're looking for, and then everyone goes, got it, and the card goes from 50 cents to $5.
Yeah, Curse Totem was not in a lot of sideboards until Yogg started popping off. I feel
Mhm.
like it's only really been a huge issue for like a month or two.
Yeah, ever since what happened? Who did somebody go away?
Hmm. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Who would it have been?
Can't think of it. Oh well.
Oh well.
As George here's just churning through their library with no Bowmaster to stop them.
Indeed. Drawing tons of cards here. One of the best game actions in Magic.
The blue players love it.
We'll get a replacement ring. Get rid of these bird encounters here. Protect ourselves from these creatures that Tom does not have.
Right, from the 1 point of damage available.
George is at 6. I should know that.
Okay,
These
okay,
bird
okay.
encounters, this mana base has been hurting him.
The goose is loose, okay? We are very low on life totals.
We have protection from
Yeah.
everything.
Okay. All right,
So
we're
we're
going to try to
chilling?
channel our energy through the stream to
Mhm.
Tom to take these Path to Exiles out of our deck. There's at least one riding in hand. And if we can scrape these beats together,
It's
I
the
just...
pretty one, though. I
Yeah, it
love
is.
that version so much.
Samwise number 2 entered the grip.
All right. Here we go. Oh, the Godless Shrine is signed, too.
Yeah,
That's
the
sick.
the squad, the Tom Holland and friends. A
Hmm.
couple of them got those signed shocks. I'm seeing them.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was at
It was
Gen
like
Con.
David, I
Hmm.
think has the four color.
Maybe it's David's Land. Who knows?
Oh, maybe
I believe it was Gen Con last year that they ran into the artist.
that makes
I think they
sense.
were all there for Lorcana purposes, but they did indeed find the artist at Gen Con.
Nice, good stuff.
Just keep your whole Magic collection on you just in case.
I have 5 binders of art cards. I can't possibly bring them all to every
Oh.
event. It's too many. Scryfall doesn't have them all updated with artist credit either, so like I
Oh.
literally have to dig through my binders to make sure.
Oh, to figure out.
Yeah, there were a couple I didn't remember to bring to EW because they
Mm.
weren't properly tagged on Scryfall.
Here's George with the maybe Blue Eye Control's second favorite card and Supreme Verdict, just cleaning up the leftovers Tom had going on.
Get the riffraff out of there. Just sort of.
I bet George is
chilling.
quickly approaching grab Kihira time.
I think you got it.
But that was a quick pass back.
Oh, there's so much mana. Like you might as well.
We're holding up.
He didn't even count his lands.
Yeah, I think we're holding up Counterspell, Subtlety. Maybe. Oh, we're holding up Solitude and Subtlety. We're holding up exactly 9.
Then he is, yeah. Okay. George is good. George is good at Magic. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I doubted.
I just need him to put a threat in play.
Yes, please.
That's why I do think Blue Eye Control has faded and Murktide has risen. Does a lot of the same kind of patterning of answer your threat, counterspell, kill spell, but they always go put this threat in play, then do all of that for a long time. And Murktide can end a game, right? You have your DRC, your Ledger Shredder, your Ragavan, your Murktide. You have these threats that are cheap and they just come down and end game while you answer stuff. Control does it in the reverse. They answer, threat, answer. And I think it's much harder for them to finish games as Counterspell has to tag this path to exile because we need this solitude.
Yeah, we gotta put this game away. Chatter, the pink land, I believe, is the one you're referring to. That's a Gyre Reach Sanitarium.
Ooh, yeah, from the Secret Lair skeleton screaming. I don't remember what it was called, but all of them had like screaming skeletons in it.
Yeah, Gyre Reach Sanitarium.
For the Narset lock.
Yeah, you can loot with it. Both players loot. Colorless land. And then the other one at the bottom next to the breeding pool is a Minamo.
Yeah, the Dol Amnoth. Yeah, given Secret Lair is my favorite way for them to sneak in like new art versions for cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting. I need
Which
a Young
one?
Wolf one.
Yeah.
And I need a Leyline Binding one.
Okay. All right. I think Leyline Binding probably a
It's
little
gotta
more
be
likely.
coming, right?
I don't think a Young Wolf is gonna come anytime soon. That one seems a little niche to me. I know for some of the Secret Lairs, the artists do get to pick the cards.
I'm
It's
waiting
not
for.
all,
I'm
but
hoping
yeah.
next October there's Secret Lair Wolves.
Yeah, just
And
doggo.
And the throwaway card is a Young Wolf.
Mm-hmm.
The 5th card that people usually don't care about, make a Young Wolf, please. I don't even care if it's a silly little guy.
Well, that would be the best. I want it
course.
to be a silly little guy.
So that when you block with it and they go, oh, it's like, sorry, when you sacrifice it to the Dark Lord
You
Yawgmoth.
just gotta hit like a soundbite on your phone that makes like a whimpering noise when
No,
it dies.
I can't, not anymore. The Kahira has entered play. Solitude has gained +1/+1, has gained vigilance, and now is on attacking, blocking, and life gain duty.
Life totals are now 10 to 9 here. Tom is stabilized with a couple of food.
And this single Samwise in hand.
Yeah, we need one more here for it to even do anything. And
Subtlety
it might not
time.
even hit the board here, which it won't.
And now Tom is just dead to combat. We'll have to
Indeed.
crack these foods to survive.
Indeed. How much damage do we have on board, Dom?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Tom gonna eat this food, go up to 13, then go down to 2. I did count really quickly. Nailed it.
Looks like we've got the correct math here. Life total is now 2 to 12. I don't think there's much Tom can do here, but he will play out the full part of his.
And your opponent
hand here.
preordained top.
Oh gosh.
Uh,
Gross.
Tom drew the card for turn, was shocked what it was, remembers from the subtlety.
Oh right, yes. I remember.
And one more solitude, just for
solitude.
flavor and taste.
Clean it up there. We'll bring this game
Dang,
home.
that solitude, I would have slammed the Nux for the end of game, but not Tom. I mean, shout out.
He's got nowhere to be. He's
Yeah, I
just
guess
here
not.
for vibes.
And moments later, the third Solitude arrived, and that was enough to push it. Make sure everyone gets their cards back, and that's the game. 2-0 for George DeBoer, Blue Eye Control, and I saw our backup getting up. I don't think they're there anymore.
I think he heard you when he said that you were gonna keep him from
I got him to finish
0-2, and
games.
now he's 2-0, the complete inverse of his hats.
We'll take it.
Before we head into our break, though, I think we're gonna look at our weekly schedule. Is that correct?
Oh,
Let's
yeah.
take a peek. We have 5 different TCGs that we offer at the Nerd Rage Gaming Store, and here is your chance to play them. Monday is Commander and Digimon. Tuesday is Lorcana, which has replaced Pioneer, and One Piece League. Wednesday is our Modern League. Thursday is Commander and our Pokémon, which is streamed as well, so you can check that out at 6:30. Friday is Legacy Standard and One Piece, and Saturday is Digimon League. We have so many great events for you to check out, so many different ways to play, so come on down, Nerd Rage Gaming, Buffalo Grove, Illinois. With that being said, though, that wraps up our round 1 coverage. We'll be right back with round 2. Stay tuned.
See y'all soon.
What I like about the NRG series is how much of a community it feels like.
It's really cool to be able to meet people that share common interests with you and become friends with them and grow relationships.
I'm able to feel a sense of belonging that I don't feel a lot of other places.
Oh man, it's almost indescribable. A lot of regulars who play the series basically all year, it feels almost like a sort of homecoming. I could tell even from like the first time I started playing.
The atmosphere here is very friendly and almost like a family. It's just a lot of familiar faces.
Real sense of community. It's really refreshing to be able to spend time with people who I haven't seen in a long time.
Even strangers will just be very welcoming.
I've made a lot of really valuable friendships and other connections.
Ridiculously good energy.
There's a really good community here.
They're also encouraging.
The gathering ends up being so good in and of itself, and honestly I think that's the biggest upside of going to the NRG series.
The NRG series is coming to a Midwest city near you.
Welcome back, folks. We're in round 2 here of our Wednesday night Modern League. We have a mirror for you. I don't think we've had this mirror on stream before, but I'm sure you've heard of this deck. It's pretty popular. Is it Murktide?
I don't know, is it?
It is indeed. And we got Blake and Andrew for you here. We'll get them going in just a second. We'll see who's on the play here.
There is one very important detail to this matchup.
Mm.
Shout out to Blake. Blake's a homie. We play a lot of Magic against each other. Blake has been playing Teamer Murktide with the 4 copies of Questing Druid.
Oh, right. I had forgotten that. Thank you for reminding me.
If that is the case, and Andrew is playing straight Is It Murktide, this is going to be 4 Expressive Iterations versus 8 Anatarmogoyf. And that's going to feel very, very different as this game drags on if it's a game that goes and goes and goes. If Blake, in fact, does have access to Questing Druid, we're going to have a lot more power and draw capability.
I don't see any green availability yet. There is a fetch there.
Yeah. The green is 1 breeding pool. Just the one.
Just the single breeding pool. Okay.
You get to hang on to most of your Is It mana base, swap the 4th Steam Vents for a breeding pool, and call it a day. All your fetches can always find islands.
All right, down to Andrew's second turn here. There was a Dragon's Rage channel that got quickly heated by Andrew. We'll start off with the Preordain here, not the fancy secret layer one, but an extended art
Full art
foil.
Commander Masters, that's okay.
Yeah, not too shabby there.
Back when Preordain was a card that I literally threw in the trash can after Commander Masters drafts. And now here we are, it legal and modern and setting up this turn 2 Ragavan.
Not dashed here, just slow one because we did use our first mana for a Preordain, but we'll get a Bauble here as well. 3 spells on turn 2 is not bad at all.
You know it's just going to eat this kill spell, right? No matter what, you know this Ragavan is not living.
Well, then it's good we didn't spend 2 mana dashing it.
I think that might have been why we didn't, right?
Yeah.
Just understanding that we could trade 1 mana for 1 mana or our 2 for their 1. Used our full mana economy, cycled through with our Preordain, and then allowed us to set that up. Ding!
There's the breeding pool.
That is all the information I needed. Could be very, very important as this game drags on. I do believe that Seek the Beast, the adventure side of Questing Druid, really can act like 5 through 8 expressive iteration with the Tarmogoyf. And honestly, is sometimes way bigger than Tarmogoyf.
Blake's hand looking pretty good here. I see 2 expressive iterations and a force of negation.
These are the hands that make you want to play Murktide.
Yeah, absolutely. It's making me want to play a little Murktide right now.
And
for
an
sure.
Unholy Heat, right? You're just like,
I see an expressive
Okay,
iteration on Andrew's
okay.
side of the field as well. No spells on Blake's turn
Okay.
here.
I think I know what this is.
Mm-hmm.
The Andrea Mengucci School of Murktide thought is, if you have a land to play, you never EI. You wait until you're going to miss your land drop, and then you iteration.
Okay. That
So
makes sense to me.
Blake seems to have exactly followed that heuristic. We had a land drop, so no need to fire it off just yet. Now they go, oh, I'm going to miss my land drop. Now is the time to fire this off.
Exiling or finding off the top here. An expressive iteration will go to a hand.
Number
Sure.
4, I
Another one will tuck a counter spell and exile
Yep.
a preordain.
Our little baby iteration, preordain.
We'll cast that as well.
This is digging for a land. I want to find a
Yeah.
land drop there. That Spire Bluff.
Is that Spire Bluff Dom's favorite land?
I hate them so much. If you go on flexlot.gg and you find my Murktide list, there's 0 Spire Bluffs canals.
Interesting. I saw you and Zach talking about them on Twitter the other day too.
Oh, how he called it Volcanic Island and I called it Is a Guildgate? Yep.
Yeah, it's very different fields of thought in that for that card for sure. I think it's probably somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's Spire Bluff Canal, right?
It's Spire Bluff Canal, right?
It's
yeah.
firmly in the middle. But I was wrong. Blake did indeed bottom that land, and then drew our mystery card, the 3rd card off the top instead.
All right, all right.
I just
don't
feel
know
like I
about
want all the mana in the world
Yeah.
so that I can, play a big Murktide, so I can get my Questing Druids online, so I can cast every cantrip, so I can dash my Ragavans. This deck is mana efficient and mana hungry all at the same time.
Andrew will go to cast his own expressive iteration and will instead get forced. Or we'll tank a bit here.
I think we played it as if it was Pact of Negation, but we need to play it like it's Force. So deciding on if we want to lose one of these blue cards or not. I'm all for pitching this Preordain and just countering our opponent's EI.
Absolutely, yeah. We have so many EIs in hand. Get rid of a Preordain. Easy peasy. I don't think this is too hard to play here. Yep.
And we already get this Preordain down here. That's fine. That's your 12th iteration you've drawn this game.
Take a damage from the Fiery Islet to play this Ragavan.
And I bet this is why Andrew pushed out the first one, tried to pull the removal spell kept in the opening hand, and now force you to maybe find a second one if you don't have it yet.
Blake has his own Ragavan as well, so that'll discourage him from
But we
playing
also
it.
have a heat, so we could go, but we can't heat dash Ragavan. We didn't
Because
take
we
the
got a
canal, and we
breeding
don't have the
pool.
red source. Oopsie whoopsie. And Murktide has to play a lot of that same threat assessment as Control decks we said in round 1, where you need to figure out where A lines up to B, right? How you're going to answer stuff. Blake purposely held up exactly this counterspell, knowing that it's hopefully for whatever Andrew's going to do on their turn. But it's the big Merkening.
Oh boy, now we don't have the counter spell to counter the Merc because we hit the EI instead.
And we just spent a heat, right? So we used our heat the turn prior so that we could kill the Ragavan. But this is exactly a 6/6 Murktide, which would have been answered by a heat that we no longer have the heat for.
Right.
This Preordain, it's time to go a digging.
Yeah, we have that. That's the beauty of Murktide. I really don't like that he bottomed the Spire Bluff because 4 feels a lot better than 3 here.
And I'm not a big fan of casting iteration
one
here.
red source too.
I would have preordained to allow me to keep all my other stuff available. But what's going on right here, right now,
Alrighty.
is we found this land off iteration, so sins forgiven on that front, right?
Untapped as well.
As we see, Blake still has a full hand of just preordained, expressive iteration, Ragavan. But the thing is we need to find
Spire Bluff on top. Sorry, go ahead.
No, none of these cards are on Holy Heat.
No, they are not. We've gone through 2. Only 2. I want to say maybe no. I think just 2. My boy need a heat.
My boy need heat. Or a
hot.
Murktide of our own.
Oh, I did the whole speech too because I knew Andrew was new. I forgot to tell him to use our dice. I think I did tell him he was a lit dice. Bryce, will you go yell at him? That die's so tiny, man. My little eyes cannot see it.
Itty bitty.
I know you got glasses, Andrew, but I do not.
Oh, you saw his head. He knows he's about to get yelled at. Oh.
Thank you, friend. Thank you, friend.
If you could use a white die, that'd be really appreciated.
Yeah, they don't know that they represent different things. It's all good.
Here's this Ragavan, kind of paling in comparison to the power and size of this Murktide.
Yo.
And speaking of needing heat.
Yo, Mikey, thank you for the subscription with Prime. Hey, folks, if you got Amazon Prime, check out if you've got a Twitch Prime available. We'd appreciate the support. It lets us know that we're doing a good job.
Yeah, I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And look, he's got that first badge as well. One of our very first subscribers to the channel. Appreciate you, friend. Don't tell George.
Oof.
I have been sworn to silence. You have paid for my silence.
Shredder, Bolt, Ragavan, Trigger, Shredder. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
We've drawn a lot of cards, but none of them are answers to these two Mondo threats now.
Yo, another one. The Last God. Thank you for the subscription.
The Last God.
Poggers.
Shout out to the Last God.
The Last God, what is your favorite magic? Yo! Oh my
no.
God.
Oh no, it's going.
Choo choo. Here comes the hype train. Anyone else want to get on board? Thank you, the Hayward of Time, for the Prime subscription.
We accept all Bezos bucks.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. NRG is probably the best thing to happen to paper magic since SCG. Thank you so much. Those are very kind words.
What a goated comment.
Yeah.
Truly appreciated.
SCG is still killing it too. They just got that RC bid.
Yeah, they're just holding it until NRG picks it up.
There you go. Yeah, they can have the East Coast. We're kicking it in the Midwest.
Come to the
here.
Midwest where we got snow and magic every Wednesday.
Heck yeah, baby. We're nice and warm in here. Blake, let's get down to the action though.
Big
has
tide.
His
Big Merc.
own Murktide. It's a little bit bigger than Andrew's too.
Yeah.
But he's got a Shredder. And that's a pretty good card.
Yeah, resolving an iteration, finding what feels like the 12th expressive iteration Blake's had this game. And remember, Blake countered both copies Andrew played.
Yes. And Andrew's still sitting like pretty good on this board right now.
But one card in hand. But Blake down to one card left. But boy, oh boy, is it expressive iteration.
Oh boy, it's a
Also,
good one. It's the best last card to have in hand, I'd say.
I recommend do this super casual thing called top 8 your RCQ, and you can get the new Dominic Meyer full art expressive iteration.
Oh my god, and then can you send them to me, please? I need them so badly. I'm playing standard right now, but I'm playing a different league. I'm playing an online league, so I am not getting any of these expressive iterations, please. Help a VML girly out.
Yeah, and Hayward of Time, thank you so much. Yeah, Blake did just play an Is It Guildgate in the form of this Spire Bluff Canal. I agree. Thank you very much.
Oh my god, we got this echo chamber going in chat.
And Andrew, a homie, has Odawara and Fiery Islet. Those are cards that I'm playing over Spire Bluff Canal. Big fan of those. Chatter, getting a little highlight. Any living end around today? God, I hope not. Not a great time for living end players.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught our conversation last round. Dom was talking about how with Yawgmoth and Rhinos being so dominating that people are boarding against those decks, and living end is catching a lot of strays.
They have like 12 cards to shut you down, so be careful out there, homies.
If we ever do, though, we love to get all the meta-relevant decks some time to shine on camera, so we will do our best to get a living end player on camera if they show up.
This Murktide on Murktide violence being shut down by an unholy heat, allowing us, I believe, to trade off these Murktides, but leaving behind a 4/6 Ledger Shredder to clean up what's left over.
Life totals will fall to 4 on Blake's side to Andrew's healthy 15.
So Blake needs to iteration into a heat and needs to still have Delirium because this is the last turn that this Shredder is in heatable range.
How my boy Jabor, dude? He old last round, baby.
Stands. Hey, Hayward of Time.
We appreciate it. We appreciate the support here. We love to hype up our boy Jab. Jabber.
Blake out here using this 2-mana divination, expressive iteration, finding the goods, getting the land, but stuck with this possible Yep, we stuck with a Stern Scolding in hand, no answer, exactly 4 damage from this Shredder, and we're on to game number 2.
All right, game 1 will go to Andrew there. We're going to switch over to his deck. He has submitted his deck. Thank you so much. So this is his full 75 that he's working with. His sideboard consists of Magus of the Moon, Flusterstorm, Stern Scolding, Brotherhood, and Mystical Dispute, Engineered Explosives, Dress Down, Unlicensed Hearse, and Blood Moon.
Okay, we're playing the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
Flusterstorm is the card if you want to win the counter battles.
Okay.
Right? If you want to go back and forth against these pierces, preordains, bolts, heats, counterspell, express iteration, Flusterstorm is one of the best ways to win that through other counterspells, while also being a good card against rhinos. Most likely a card that we'll see here to battle over cards like expressive iteration.
I like this unlicensed Hearse sitting at the bottom.
Yes, Hearse is unbelievable at clearing out your opponent to shut down their delirium and their food for Murktide, while also, if you eat your own graveyard, you could fuel your own Murktide if it's already in play. So it's a one that could really go back and forth. And then sometimes your Hearse is just an 8/8 or a 10/10. You crew it with a subtlety and you bash in for 10 damage.
Chatter looking to play a Magus or a Blood Moon effect here. I
No.
don't think that's the play here.
It
Doesn't really do.
has no text.
It doesn't really do a whole lot here.
In the 3 island versus 3 island matchup, no thank you.
Scolding and Hearse has to come in. I think
I don't know about that Scolding.
the Scolding.
So Scolding is if you're super scared of your opponent's ones, right? The DRCs and the Ragavans. It allows you additional answers to them. The question is do you want additional answers to it?
Flusterstorm, does it counter any spell or is it just
Well,
instant or sorcery?
Fluster is instant sorcery only, yes.
Yeah.
What I imagine is Blake might be more incentivized to bring in his Scoldings because it'll hit Andrew's Ledger Shredders.
That's a good
But
point.
then I guess Andrew's a little incentivized because Stern Scolding could hit the adventure side of Questing Druid. But at that point, the card's already 3-for-1 due. So how good is it there? If I see one, I wouldn't be shocked, but
All
I
right.
don't expect them.
Do we have a Teamer Murktide list to check out here? No. All right.
Picture this deck list, but with 4 Questing Druids in it.
Indeed.
Where
yeah.
those Ledger Shredders are. You see the Ledger Shredders? Sharpie those out, put Questing Druid, and then probably I have seen in a lot of the Questing Druid variants, shaving the 4th counterspell, because it's a really hard card to exile and have a very small window to use. Usually it plays out like a little bit more of an aggressive version. So if you're looking to put that deck together, add a breeding pool, shave those 4 cards, and you're good to go.
So I guess on Andrew's side, a Stern Scolding might be a little bit better because it hits, it hits Shredder or Questing Druid, right?
So both
So
of
it
them
doesn't
have
really
a
matter.
target that it could hit. My thing is if you bring it in for the Druid, Blake already drew 2 cards.
Yeah, because you're like always playing the adventure
because
side
it's off
first.
the adventure side.
Turn 1, Ragavan, classic plays here out of our Murktide players. Blake on the play, of course, because he's down a game. It'll get heated by Andrew, starting off this game 2 here.
And I wonder there's kind of the back and forth between having Stern Scolding or having Subtlety, because they're kind of serving the same role. Subtlety, you kind of 2-for-1 yourself a lot of the time, but one can hit Murktide, the namesake card, and one cannot. That was a quick peek. Did y'all see that? There was a Fido out there. We're back to game number 1.
Wait, what happened?
We just took a quick peek at the backup. Just a
Oh,
quick
did
peek.
we?
Just
Oh,
a
I
quick
missed
peek.
it. I blinked.
It was literally a blink.
There we go. Not the card, but the physical action there.
One of the things I'll always say about Magic is a hard game, and sideboarding is one of the hardest parts. So it is A-OK, no problemo. I still most likely use other people's sideboard guides.
I was literally about to say that's why I use sideboard guides. It's my favorite thing that has like upped my skill by so much.
Do you know of a good spot to find sideboard guides?
How about you check out flexslot.gg for
I
all
didn't
your
say it. I didn't say
sideboarding
it.
needs? Well, you should be saying it. You're the one that's on the team.
Yeah, but I laid it up and you slammed the dunk.
There we go. Might as well. Check out George Jabor's site, flexslot.gg. I've heard he's a pretty good player too.
Speaking of pretty good plays, turn 1 DRC into turn 2 preordain. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's get some triggers going. Already got some good amount of cards in our graveyard there. Is it delirious though? Not quite, but we'll get there. We're working on it. Andrew just gonna pass back with 2 blue sources up. Not suspicious at all.
Chat, sound off for me. Island battle. We liking Blake's bowl or this double master full art?
I know where you fall, and I think you know where I fall, and I think it's on
Oh.
opposite sides here.
Oh.
Cause I love me a bowl
Gotta go
island.
with the bowl.
I love a cup island, baby.
I'm a bowl boy.
You're a bowl boy too. Okay, I thought you were gonna be a little hipster and
No.
dig that classic side on Andrew's land. It's a good lane too. I gotta give him props.
No, NRG series saying the bowl's overrated. I can't take it.
No, the whole series. I can't.
Hashtag bowl boy as Express Federation has entered the stack and left the stack. Counterspell. Oh,
And then-
beautiful counterspell.
Ooh, that's a good counterspell there. And then they redid the bowl for Zendikar Rising as well. It's like a more modernized looking bowl.
That one's bad.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Okay, Last God had to say it. I was wondering. Andrew doesn't have the OG. This isn't the Un version. It's the Double Master version.
It's the same art. It's the same art.
And here's this Ragavan. Not dashed mode. Not rumbling. Not triggering. Just casting.
Just hanging.
There's no way. Is Andrew holding up a counterspell? They couldn't with this 2 mana and an undashed Ragavan. But a dashed Ragavan could have also held up counterspell.
Oh. So many lines of play here. We'll get a preordain. Oh, did we not trigger our Dragon's Rage Channeler? Oh, I think that
did
was.
right there.
We did. Okay.
So
usually I'm used to them
Yeah.
like pointing.
So here's the thing.
Mhm.
I think between Murktide and Yawgmoth, there might be a non-zero chance that Murktide is the more finicky of the two. Just a DRC trigger here, a Delirium here, a mill here, a look at 2, a look at 3, a look at 2, a look at 3, a look at 1. I found that a lot of Murktide games are won and lost by the little tiny micro decisions that happen in this deck.
I think it's a good point. I think there's more decisions to be made because it's a more cantrip style thing. Yawgmoth can also do that, like when you're activating Yawgmoth and digging through your deck.
Oh, yeah.
But you're usually digging to a card, right? Like the decision's already been made for you.
Sure, I get that.
So yeah, I think I agree with you there that Murktide has more decisions because you have more points of interaction and decision making.
Definitely would be more clicks. Until you get to the Yawg combo, this deck is way more clicks.
I wouldn't know anything about that. I refuse to touch Moto. I play my gamified arena. Thank you very much.
As this Ragavan has dealt damage, revealed a Steam Vent, womp womp, but just going to keep churning with this preordain.
We saw lots of card drawing in round 1 from George, and we'll see it here from both of our players in a cantrip heavy deck list. Preordains galore. Ooh, and a bolt. We'll clean up the Dragon's Rage Channeler on Blake's side of the board.
Use that treasure. Big Murktide incoming. Well, time to put you to the test, Blake. What cards are our leftovers? I see a Ragavan. Are any? And this is too big.
That's the biggest.
This is
that's the
too
biggest
big.
boy there.
That is too many counters. Oh, but do we have heat? We have heat bolt? We have heat bolt? We have heat bolt.
What's in his graveyard? Is he delirious?
There's a DRC, a counterspell, a land, and we preordained. That should be all 4.
There you go. Yeah.
So we're gonna fetch up a Steam Vent and trade 2 for 1 with this Murktide with our bolt and our heat. Oh, it's double heat. We gotta spend them though. We gotta spend them.
You gotta. Andrew's only got 1 card in hand too, so
And it
force
can't be better than this
negation-
Murktide.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, and you're right. We can even play around force because they literally couldn't have it.
Yeah. Come on, Blake, you got it.
You got to do it. There's just
Gotta
no
do it.
choice here. This is one of those forced plays of Murktide.
Mm-hmm.
These are premium spells, but an 8/8 Murktide is the most premium.
I agree. Very good point.
Oh yeah, Steam Vents.
Oh, Tepper, I tried. He's done
Yeah,
again.
I see the backup has disappeared already.
Oh my god. Okay.
Heat the Ragavan. Heat the Ragavan. And our own Murktide. Time for the battle.
Wait, he heated the Ragavan?
Yep. And so instead of double heating the Murktide, we're going to heat Ragavan and have our own Murktide to fight back.
Okay.
And it looks like ours is fully powered. That's a 5 counter Murktide.
These 2 dragons gonna stare at each other. Oh, Dakota. Dakota, spoiler alert. Sir. All right, insider information for all of you in chat. in chats. Okay,
Dang,
Here,
dude.
you come here
You
for
come
those
to the come to the
for
NRG
that
store
good
stream.
info. There we go.
Uh-oh, I kind of want to see now.
You'll see it soon. It's probably one of the next to get spoiled. I don't know if House is going in order of when they won or not. We'll see though.
Oh, Wedger Shredder into expressive iteration?
Wedger Shredder.
Not the Wedger Shredder. The bird lawyer himself. There's those Flusterstorms and counted two Mishra's Bobbles. And we took Bobble. Get that Flusterstorm out of here. We got to dig for answers to our opposing Murktide.
Trigger the Shredder.
Now, do you know what the out is to a big Murktide? It's always the out.
Another another Murktide?
Whenever you find yourself in trouble and you're playing a blue deck, what's the answer you're looking for? Otawara.
All right.
Always the answer.
I told you, I never suspect it.
It's
me and
might as well
Dom
call it
played-
the Spanish Inquisition.
I know.
Nobody expects the Otawara.
Dom blew me out in a standard game the other day with an
That's true.
Otawara.
It was so good.
It was so bad. What do you mean? I got destroyed.
I'm in love with Otawara.
It's a good card.
I think I'm playing 4 in my Pioneer deck.
I did though, because of what we had talked about Tidebindering channels. I did get to Tidebinder one of Adam's channel lands, and he was like, "Wait."
There's this boring treasure token in play. Boo, I wish we could do something about this itty bitty boring little treasure token.
Don't do it. He's gonna do it. Don't encourage him. He's literally gonna go dig for it right now. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
No.
Preordain coming in again.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, did you see the flare of that scry too on that Preordain?
I missed it. It.
Yeah. Bull Boys on Team Otawara. Yeah, shout out to chat.
Easy peasy.
Though I'm currently in love, I was in love before, with the Tales of Eldraine full arts.
Yes.
I've been using those like crazy. The forest is so good.
They're really nice. And it's so thematic too. It's really, really pretty.
Yes. It looks good in Titan, I'll tell you what. Last God, shout out. One of my favorite things is also to Tidebinder, the final suspend.
I think we've seen that on stream actually. That was pretty hype.
It hurts.
Learning all the different things
For
that
my
Tidebinder
opponent.
can do is a magical experience. Dashed Ragavan will bring Blake down to 12 here to Andrew's 8.
Bobble, that's free.
We'll get an art card. Art card treasure there.
Oh, no, we have an art card treasure. I wish it could just be anything else.
All right, we'll take the bauble.
That's a
for our
free card,
troubles.
yeah.
Yeah, literally the freest Ragavan.
If
card
Ragavan
ever.
also said just draw a card, pretty good. Draw for all them baubles that we went
Draw for
cracking.
Andrew's bauble, draw for Blake's bauble. 2 cards in hand plus a Raggy.
I looked to Andrew's graveyard and went, there's only one bubble there. But I forgot they took Blake's and just got that easy too. Oh.
Dash Ragavan of his own
Yeah.
on Blake's side of the field, bring Andrew to 6 and flip over a counter spell. Doesn't do too much there.
I bet we wanted Lightning Bolt there. I
mean, yeah.
want to push.
Lightning Bolt would be good for sure.
DRC, yo, Murktide.
Ooh.
They're back. And they don't need to be that big this time.
1, 2, 3.
3's okay.
3 counters.
Now
plus
keep
2
Delirium.
more.
Now keep Delirium. You've got creature, land, artifact. Just keep 3 of your pieces for sure. Or maybe don't even take one of these spells. We could leave Delirium behind and get a 5/5 flyer. I think that would have been okay. Those are the big Murktide decisions.
Yeah, he's going for the
subtlety.
full. Oh no! Yeah, you always let your opponent fully cast their spell first. Don't show your hand too early there.
Yeah, I would agree. These games are swingy. The Murktide mirrors have to be so intensive. But Blake looking like we're in a good spot. We're in a dashed Ragavan war, but we're gonna decide if this Murktide goes back on top. I think maybe. It's still a 3/3 flyer.
I was gonna say we have the delve cards for it, so we have the graveyard.
Oh, to the bottom.
All right,
That's okay.
Oh,
Because we know Andrew's last card is the Ragavan that they dashed. We got full information now.
oh, but if he puts it on the top, then Andrew gets the Murktide anyway.
You're so smart. I always forget about that. Also, Andrew drew another Ragavan. Our hand is Ragavan.
Oh, that's bad.
That's bad.
That's real bad.
That's bad.
That card's legendary.
Because Blake's gonna. Yeah, here's a blocking Ragavan. Because you know that Blake has their own Ragavan, and Blake is on the hunt for bolts. I'm going bolt hunting.
Counterspell off the top.
Which we can exactly dash plus have our counterspell available for whatever Andrew draws on their turn. Trade these monkeys. I love it. Blake has 2 cards to your 0, and
never
DRC's
mind.
here to play. And we have creature, artifact, land. So we're a card away from getting Delirium online. Andrew,
Indeed.
drew our card and passed back real quick.
Real quick, real quick.
DRC number 2. Yep. Get in there. We can do this 6 times. DRC number 2, speed that clock up. Andrew, off the top.
Ooh,
Unlicensed Hearse.
Hearse.
I don't know if now's the time.
I'm going bolt hunt.
Yep, this was the counter spell. Does Andrew have a counter for the counter to protect this? And I believe that's Delirium. Instant creature, artifact land. Is dead. You're dead, Zo. But you're dead, Zo?
Dead Zo?
Dead Zo?
What's this card in your hand, Andrew? Do we know what it is?
No, but if it is a bolt or a heat, then we need to do it now before this counterspell is in the graveyard.
Resolving DRC triggers here off the counter spell. Staring at an
Otawara.
Otawara.
That's my girl.
Oh my god.
You keep that 100%. Whatever Andrew plays on their turn, that's the answer.
Oh, he binned it. Heartbreaking.
I
And a
can't
Merc
believe
on
this.
top. Sheesh.
Yeah, and the spell Pierce for the counterspell.
Damn.
So this resolves. We're going to be able to eat Delirium for sure, Aftershock, bin that 100%. All right.
You get two noms with the hearse there.
Yeah, and I'm
He
definitely...
He's letting him untap. He gets to cast the freaking Merc type before he can
Oh, before the munch.
respond with the munch. Oh my
But I think
God.
there's no spells, so it doesn't affect the math.
I guess, and there's more than 7 cards in
And
the
what
grave.
Andrew can do, there's the one spell in this counterspell. We maybe should have munched just a little. But what's going to happen is now
we
Andrew's
should
going
have
to be able to
munched.
try to remove Delirium no matter what after the fact. They'll be able to poke at whatever's left over.
Yeah, maybe force the Dragon's Rage channelers to attack, bring them down to the ground, and block one.
Oh, we won't. We can't block. We can't wake up this hearse.
Oh, right, you got to crew it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, if the hearse ability was on just a creature, we
Oh,
put it to good.
Broken.
Scavenging ooze, step aside. Yep. So we're gonna munch on just the one counterspell. This is a 4/4 flyer still.
Wait, I think there is a replacement. I think it's Lion Sash, right? Because you can reconfigure it into a creature, I believe.
Yeah, I see you. I see you.
All right, just the one counter for our Murky.
That's fine. It's a 4/4.
Yeah,
I'm looking to just survive a turn and kill you.
Mm-hmm.
In game.
We will reduce down to survive here. These Dragon's Rage Channelers are no longer delirious. We'll get in for 2 points of damage. Bring Andrew into bolt range at 3 points of life here. Moving to Andrew's probably last turn.
And yep, that's the game. Well, yeah, I mean, someone in chat said it. These games are swingy. The pendulum just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And Blake here taking game number 2. And I tell you what, have we seen a single questing druid?
We haven't. No,
Oh,
I was going to make the same
they're
exact comment.
They're hiding.
Andrew saw our breeding pool game 1, but hasn't seen a hint of anything.
Oh,
Down
I wonder if
Scouty?
we trimmed some. I saw 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's so wild.
Do you think that card is an advantage or disadvantage in this matchup?
Advantage, full advantage.
Yeah. Yeah,
You have
that's what
extra
were
you have
saying.
extra copies of EI and a Tarmogoyf. That's
Mhm.
all. That's hooey.
Advantage bars.
Yeah,
Turn this into Street Fighter. Is that
there's-
one the one with advantage? Oh shoot. Bryce, which one is it?
there's such.
You remember you're the fighting game guy, bro. Oh my gosh.
I want to stress the importance of early game in these matchups and making your land drops. So there's so many turns that we can see when we're at like turn like 4 or 5 when we like purposely missed a land drop as opposed to like choosing it off an iteration or whatever, and then finding ourselves in situations where we want to like dash Ragavan and hold up a bunch of other stuff. And every time we don't make a land drop, make that harder and harder and harder on ourselves. And I think there's a lot of difficulty to playing this deck, and why it's kind of like your pure 50% deck is the cards in it are powerful, but the pilot truly makes it with the way that you sequence, the way you
Absolutely.
set it up, and the way you plan on turn 1 and turn 2 for how turn 10 is going to go down, right? Like every little microtransaction of this deck is so important, and you don't feel the ramifications of your choice on turn 3 until you're fighting for your life on turn 10. I fully agree with what someone just said in chat. I say that Murktide is new Jund. This is Jund to me. It is just the 50%. I have answers to all of the questions, and I'm just going to try to win the game. This deck to me plays and feels like old school modern Jund.
Even though it's got counter spells in it.
Yeah, the vibe, right? The
Mhm.
vibe it gives is just like, I'm 50% every matchup, and I will beat my opponent by pure skill.
Interesting. Yeah, I was not around for modern Jund. I started playing modern after it was really a huge hitter in the
Yep.
meta. But I'll take your word for it.
And I think as a testament to that, NRG champ, Steven Dykman,
Mhm.
known Blood Crypt gamer, right?
Yeah.
Loves just a grindy Blood Crypt deck. At Champs, was a big fan in Pioneer, said the best deck that they brought was their like red-black mid-range deck. And then they registered Murktide in Modern
Hmm.
that plays much in that same patterning.
Interesting. Okay.
And if I think it shows a lot that it's kind of
Yeah.
just that deck looking to just like grind your opponent to dust, trade the resources. But instead of Thoughtseize, we have Counterspell. And instead of Tarmogoyf, we have Questing Druids and Murktides. And this deck's even had Tarmogoyf in it before.
Mm-hmm. We'll
Yeah,
see.
Counterspell is a kill spell in the stack, right? Like,
Interesting. Oh yeah, I guess that is how that would work.
but they don't get an ETB. So sometimes that's beneficial, but the issue with a counterspell is you have to answer it right then and there. You can't rip the answer and answer it after the fact.
Right.
And that's been the tug and pull of Magic since day one.
Mhm.
Counterspell versus kill spell.
Beautifully said. Andrew's first Ragavan went down to a bolt, but he had a second one, dashed it, hit an EI off the top of Blake's deck. And we'll go to Blake's second turn here. Has a few lands in hand. Fetch for his second turn. No Ledger Shredders to play for him, so we'll see what cantrips he possibly plays here.
And I think if I was playing Blake's deck, Preordain, Expressive Iteration, and Questing Druid are all cards I would never, ever cut sideboarding no matter what matchup I'm playing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're the way to find your cards that actually mean something in the game. Whatever card you brought in to answer your opponent, that is your best way to find them.
Yeah, Murktide's biggest skill or biggest strength is digging.
Seeing that whole dang deck,
Yeah.
right? There's a reason they're more likely to play one-ofs in their sideboard is because they will find it.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you trim that stuff, you're going to make it harder and harder to find.
Ragavan will come out slow this time on Andrew's side of the board, leaving up 2
Mhm.
mana sources.
And they're seeing Blake holding up this red mana, right? Just fully telegraphing, I will kill this Ragavan. So Andrew is deciding not to, quote-unquote, waste a second mana knowing they'll be answered no matter what.
And he actually has 3 mana available. My mistake. We've got this art card treasure token lurking over there.
I wish we could put something instead of this
Oh my
art
goodness.
card.
I'm going to just stop mentioning the treasure tokens on the field if you keep doing this nonsense
It's
to me.
okay. We could probably hook him up with a treasure or
We
something.
could hook him up with a treasure. We'll see. We're stuck in the booth, though, keeping you all company in chat. Oh, boy. I see Dakota on the move. Stop it. Don't do it.
Blake just dropping a bolt out of their hand going, yeah, we all knew what this was happening here.
Mm-hmm.
We all knew what the answer, what the question was.
Oh, boy. Dakota's on a mission. We'll see. Blake on his turn here. We've got an Otawara in hand. We've got an Expressive Iteration. I think that will be the play here.
On the hunt for a land drop because...
Ooh, or not. Spell Pierce from Andrew. Take care of that.
And one of the things about Otawara is if you can use cards like Iteration to find land drops instead of using your Otawara, just to hold on to the spell version.
Mm-hmm. And he had another land in hand as well. He'll play Breeding Pool tapped. No counter magic or removal in his hand to signal with, I think. Or valuing the 2 points of life possibly as well.
You're my treasure, Dakota.
Need more Tron. If we had Tron players in the building, we'd show them to you.
Hey, I got such bad news.
Oh boy. You see it here first. Look at it. The treasure token from our showdown winner, Jonathan Hobbs, Champs competitor. If you want your own token, head on over to Nerd Rage Gaming Series events. This February 17th and 18th is your first chance at a double showdown weekend.
If you want to meet all the people who make the NRG store stream possible, catch them at the booth.
I'll be there.
That's what I'm saying.
Come buy some cards from me. Give me your art cards. I need them. Please and thank you. I'll trade you too.
Oh.
Dom brought me a big stack today. It was very nice of him. Got to round out that binder collection.
The old collectione, as Andrew deep in the what to do with my expressive iteration tank.
While Andrew decides, chat, which token would you be? We got treasure here. We saw plant get spoiled. We saw blood get spoiled. The companion token as well was chosen. There's so many good ones.
A lot of good choices made this year.
A lot of good choices. We had a rhinos pick.
Did we?
That was Dykeman's first trick.
Dykeman picked Pilot, but there's Rhino in the art.
It's Rhino on the art. I always forget because he had the
technically
double.
won on Red Black, right? Or he won on Rhinos.
He won on Rhinos and Red Black. Yeah.
So he made a Pilot token, but they're piloting a Rhino mech.
Yeah.
Which
exactly.
is so smart.
Excuse me.
If you just win on easy back-to-back, no problem. First weekend, become the MVP and the champs winner.
Dude, literally the
year of Dykeman.
Greatest run I've ever seen in my life.
Also one of the nicest people.
Also amazing. My
Advocate
heart
of the
was
game.
full
Yep.
when I saw him win. Great moments. See a Murktide on the board here for Andrew.
It's kind of itty-bitty.
It's just a 5/5.
And Blake has this Odawara, an uncounterable answer to this Murktide.
Unless you, has Murktide ever tried throwing Tide Binders in their list?
I thought about it. The card just costs 3.
I know.
The deck just kind of lives. Oh, River Tier is saying the Goblin from Fable. Been dibsed already.
That one's been done already. Yeah, our team trios from the year previous.
Yeah, last year's team trio. Mullally, Theo, and
Max.
Oh, yeah, wow, squad.
Yeah, noted Murktide player Max Kamenowski.
Yep. Yeah, they got that beautiful Goblin token.
I bet you could do a Planeswalker emblem. I don't think anyone has, but
No
absolutely.
reason why not.
We did the companion tokens, and emblems are a token, so totally.
But the question is, do you make a token near and dear to your heart, or do you game the system to get the most camera time?
The most used
because
token.
choosing treasure, that's the answer to getting the most camera time. Followed by, I think, Orc Army, if we're talking modern Magic.
Ooh, Orc Army. I mean, the Fable token, honestly, is a really good pick.
Oh, Pro Ring. I mean, you can shop by England Customs. You can get some of those.
There you go.
Made.
That'd be a good one, too.
Pro Ring is cool.
Yeah, I'd love that.
Maybe I would say Orc Army nowadays.
Yeah. I gotta pick like Merfolk or Angel, I think.
Ooh, a 1/1 folk.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, just from the decks that I play the most.
Clue. Oh my goodness. Yeah, clues. They're just making a big comeback. Being a clue would be so cool.
Yes, would be like a little like magnifying glass and everything. Be so cute.
Just full on like Scooby doing it.
These Murktide is long gone. We now have a Ledger Shredder on Andrew's side of the board. Hanging out here. Blake hasn't played too many creatures yet of his own, just dealing with Andrew's side. Gonna connive and pitch a Unholy Heat, which seems like an not unholy choice. I was
an unholy choice, an unusual choice.
I was trying to come up with some clever wordplay there.
Because this card's at a premium, right?
Yeah.
Seems like a cold decision.
Yeah, seems like that's the best card in the matchup.
Seeing my
except
opponent,
like expressive iteration, maybe.
If my opponent bends a heat, sends a chill down my spine.
There you go. I should have just let you taken it.
Yeah, gotta put my English degree work somehow.
Oh, a food token. That's what Bryce wants to be.
Surrounded by T-Bell, that's how everyone should go out.
Yeah.
Do like T-Bell, dumplings, it's like surrounded by the goods.
I don't think we could legally do Taco Bell on our
Everyone will
tokens.
know. It'll be applied.
It will just be a blank taco.
You're like, why are there all these tacos covered in nacho cheese? It only means one thing. Raggy G's here, non-dashed mode.
Connive off this Misha's Bauble cast.
Chat making a good point. Don't need a heat if they ain't got no creatures.
Very cool. New morph token. You could be a mysterious creature. Nice.
That would be cool.
At Caster, dude. Did you ever listen to a Prairie Home Companion growing up?
I have no idea what that is, but that sounds cool, yo.
Legally safe knockoff. Burrito Bell, yeah, just do like a
Oh yeah.
knockoff.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what kind of bells there are. Like Temple Bell. Oh, do Temple Bell! as a
Oh
touch-
yeah. Do Temple Bell as the logo.
Oh my gosh,
Perfect.
that's literally amazing. I'm so proud of myself right
yeah,
now.
that's a good one. Send that off to England.
There you go.
As this DRC has entered the chat. The thing is Ledger Shredder, just the biggest butt on this thing.
Prairie Home Companion is an NPR radio show with a segment featuring the National Society of English Majors. Aren't you an English major?
Yeah, this is how this came up, poking fun at how profitable the use is of them as this unholy heat. We binned one because we had one, and we kill off this DRC. And now it's time to go a shreddin'.
A shredding will smack in for some points of damage here. Bring Blake down to 9 to Andrew's 19.
This clock is fast. Okay, it may not feel like it, but 4 damage a turn from Murktide and them drawing a card off the top of your deck every turn, like this Preordain, is not going to take them long to just put you in the dirt.
Yeah, the connives can stack up as well. This card's real powerful.
Because this takes Andrew's first spell is your spell. So now if they cast anything from their hand, they'll get to trigger that connive.
I know. I hate trying to get back a board after with a Ledger Shredder on my opponent's side of the field and like growing the threat and
it's
like
hard to
causing-
rebuild. Yeah.
Making a problem for myself in trying to answer it.
Yeah, totally get it. Totally get it.
Oh, got a little George shoulder peeking in.
Yeah.
All you George heads in chat.
I told George like a year ago if he just learned how to play Murktide, he'd win more games, but he didn't listen to me.
No. He won his first round, though. He's doing all right. We can check in on Event Link, see how he's doing round 2.
Oh, that is a guild gate hitting the graveyard, and that's the game. Just this constant pressure, just really scooping up here. And the Murktide Mirror, we didn't see a single questing druid. That may have been a defining feature here, and Andrew taking it down 2-1.
All right, Andrew will be the victorious Murktide player in this mirror match. We will head into our round 3 feature break. But before we do, if you want to play any of the cards that you've seen on camera tonight or any one of the other thousands of cards we have in our inventory, head on over to nerdragegaming.com. We'll be importing and uploading Murders at Karlov Manor cards tomorrow. So add them to your wish list now and get notified as soon as we list them so you are the first to hop on them because they are gonna go fast. Standard is back and it's RCQ season. So pick up your cards today, nerdragegaming.com. With that being said, though, we're going to head into a break before we head into our round 3 features. Stay tuned.
See y'all soon.
If you've never been to an NRG before and you're maybe a little intimidated about the main event, I highly recommend coming and checking out the side events. They've got so many awesome side events, and it's a great way to sort of dip your toes in and get a feel for the experience.
Side events are actually, I don't know, maybe a misnomer. They're not really side events. They're still just as competitive as the main event. It's a really great way to boost up your own skill.
They're my favorite part. Friendly, it's a great starting point. The judges who run them are fantastic. Just playing with the convention boosters every time is just so much fun. Like years after they stopped printing them, it made the weekend so much better.
You start running into regular players, they can walk you through the process, start helping you get more comfortable, not just with the event, but with the people at the event.
No matter win or lose, it's a good time.
It's just a great way to like hang out with people. You can watch games between rounds and just have a great time.
The NRG series is coming to a Midwest city near you.
Welcome back, folks, to the stream with the sickest stream transitions. It is round 3 of Wednesday Night Modern League. We got 2 regulars in the house. Top of them leaderboards, Danny P. Made it in after some car troubles with a round 1 loss. Is still technically undefeated then at 1-1.
Defeated by the car, but not by the players.
Defeated by the laws of nature that be. And Sam is 1-1 as well. He showed me he's got this new Giver of Rune Secret Lair. Have you seen that card?
Oh yeah, Sam and I are big on making this hammer deck as pretty as possible.
It's hysterical. It looks nothing like a Giver.
It's just a little
What
guy.
is it even? I thought it was a frog.
Oh yeah, and you'll see in the opening hand, Sam's drawing here, got the Japanese retro border Ginger Brute.
Yeah, Sam. If y'all like pimped out decks,
Yes.
check out Sam's hammer
Yeah.
deck here. It's beautiful.
Sam and I do a lot of chatting about where to get the signed cards, who to talk to, what events to be at.
Yeah, I gotta keep up on all that stuff here. Looks like both players mulling to 6 here. Sam going to 5 now.
And it's very important as a hammer player. One, you know Danny's on Yogg. And two, your hands define your game. Hammer only gets about like 2 or 3 cards after its opening hand. The ones that you start at the beginning are the ones that you need to end the game with.
Yeah, you gotta be willing to mulligan pretty freely, I'd say,
Yes.
in a hammer deck. Yawgmoth has a little bit more to work with because they have like chords and Yogg to draw stuff and Grist or, you know, whatever to stabilize until you got stuff. But yeah, hammer, you really need the pieces.
Yeah, unlike, say, the Cascade decks that mulligan really well because you're just looking for a Cascader and you'll fix all your problems.
You need lands and a Cascade spell.
Yeah. So you can sometimes mulligan pretty low and still have quite a functional hand. Every single card that Hammer is missing, it makes it a lot more difficult for them.
All right, so I'm going to keep a 5. Danny on 6 here. And Sam on the play.
I believe you're going to see the new Giver of Runes you're talking about far left on Sam's side. The one that kind of basically looks like a Pokemon foil.
Literally, yes. Like, I think that's so accurate. The colors on it, too, really speak to Pokemon because of the pastels.
Yeah, but it's honestly a real little cutie. And apparently they had spoiled the art by doing like secret layer wrapping paper, and then they ended up being what the arts on the secret layer were.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Right? Isn't that cool? So this is a Giver of Runes, folks. This right here, this is a Giver of Runes.
It literally looks like a Pokemon, man.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Horizon Canopy also got to add like the worst land to start on. This is very rough mana.
But, you know, you'll take what you can get because if your
On
life
a
total is at
5.
if your life total is at 17 from your Horizon Canopy, but your opponent's at 0, you'll take it.
Yeah, Hammer can win long before that becomes relevant. But Yogg can win very fast too, and those creature beats are nothing to sneer at.
No sneers to be snern. And Danny on this tapped Overgrown Tomb off of fetch. Remember, also on a slight mulligan, but also
Filter
y'all
land.
kind of moving away from having a pile of 1s, right? You know, they have about like 9-ish, so you won't have it in every opening hand.
That's a lot. That's a lot of ones.
It's only 9.
I play 6 1s in my Pioneer deck, and I want to see one like every single opening hand.
Well, the 6 is about the number to allow for that.
It's 3 and 3 elves.
Oh, just in case.
Yeah, whoever does 4 and 2 is a weirdo. You gotta do 3 and 3.
I'm definitely a
3.
4-2er.
No, what?
My brain wants to complete something before beginning anew.
No, because then it makes me feel bad for one. Because it's like, I like that
I will
one more
choose a
than the
favorite.
other. No.
Yeah, I
gotta
choose-
love my little elves equally.
No, I choose the Commander Masters Full Art Elvish Mystic. Next question.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a really good art. That's fair.
2 walls of roots. Too bad we might be sky bonking.
Yeah.
Love a Twilight Mire filter. Okay, when I played Yawgmoth, people used to think all the time when I activated Twilight Mire, I would say Twilight Mire, GG, like make green green, and my opponents are like, "Are you good gaming me?" I'm like, "No, I'm making green green," and it happened all the time.
Yes, I have the open house ones.
The open house are good elves.
That's what I
But
got.
they're foil.
They are, but I play them on Arena, so it don't matter.
It doesn't matter on Arena. As Yogg Dog, the father himself, he's here.
The Thran physician himself. We got some stuff to kind of throw a couple things on to draw if we want. What's this inspiring vantage?
I'm not gonna spoil the spice.
What do we have red for in a hammer deck? Why do we have a horizon? Wait, I just realized what is this horizon camping
and here's
for?
this mountain.
What's happening?
I won't spoil Sam's spice.
All right, swinging with an Inkmoth Nexus.
Inkmoth Nexus coming in.
We have mana to put a hammer and put it into the air.
I would love it. Bonk.
Magnetic
bonk.
theft.
Bonk. 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 But we can just use Yogg to kill it.
Oh.
And we're going to try to protect with this Surge, and then they'll kill in response. Oh, first we can use Giver. So how many of these creatures can we churn through? First, use Giver on that activation to give it Pro Black.
Mm-hmm.
In response, do this, and we'll Surge.
We're gonna kill the Giver instead.
Oh, are we getting bonked? Also, can we talk about the lost character Ixalan Colossus Hammer?
Yes, it's beautiful.
The artists who did these like bonus sheets in LCI, unbelievably gorgeous.
Yeah.
The Colossus Hammer and the Expedition map are done by the same artist, and you can tell they have the same like blue glow.
Oh, interesting.
Kind of like how you could tell on a John Avon card because of the sunlights. These have like the exact same hue of like this blue glow on them. Oh my gosh, they look so good. And they'll be at MagicCon.
We just got the assets for the new oversized cards we can make for Elmhurst, and there's some really good cards in there. Speaking of bonus sheets and the like.
We're using our Hapatra, using our little snake engine for the stuff that we munch on. And I think now we're going to Surge to give a little bit more protection, right? Because the Giver can have the 1 counter, but we can't let our Giver have 2 counters. Now forced to kill off this Ink Moth. What Sam did is basically traded all the cards in their hand as removal spells. Because Danny was forced to munch on their cards.
Clear his board. Clarifying all of the things on the board here. Cleaning up. We'll be left with a Hammer and Sigarda's 8 on Sam's side of the board and a Yawgmoth on Danny's side.
Oh, and all those cards as Danny fanned out. Because remember, every time they trade it off, Yogg draws a card.
And he did lose some life as well, so he's at 15 here. We'll begin with a Delighted Halfling. I saw an Agatha Soul Cauldron. I'd like to see that come down as well. It seems good, but we're also just very scared of getting killed with hammers.
But we have a brief reprieve.
I think we do have like a turn of setup here, actually.
Because it would have to be exactly Gingerbrute Pure Steel, and that's still not enough to have full Metalcraft. We could have, and then we don't get through for the infect damage, just be classic damage. So there's not nearly enough.
Play Bowmaster out on our own turn here, which is interesting to me. That card has Flash.
Yes, but we're playing around all the surges and stuff in Sam's deck, just making sure that we get our trigger in.
Okay. Sam will play an Urza Saga and pass back very quickly here.
That's a Gingerbrute or Hammer 2 turns from now.
Indeed.
The question is, do we get to 2 turns from now?
Yeah, Danny got a couple of good pieces of his own here. I see a Cord, which is huge.
And we've had this main deck Haywire Might for a while in Danny's deck. If it's still here, it's a pretty clean answer to make sure you don't die to a hammer. And could just eat the Saga now if we wanted to.
I think that's kind of greedy to eat the Saga.
But then you could eat with the Cauldron and turn all your homies into Haywire Mites.
Ooh, that's fun. I dig that.
It'd be like termites at that point, just getting into everything.
Ooh, we've got a mana producer orc army now.
Yep.
With this wall of roots into the soup.
Yeah, I think I'd pick
vegetable-based soup going on here.
I think I'd be an orc army token. That feels like such a good choice.
Yeah, that's a good one. Would it be all you, or would it be like you and friends?
That'd be. Oh yeah, you probably want to do a squad, but then you would feel so bad if you leave people out.
I guess. Yeah, you have to pick like who makes the cuts. Oh gosh.
No.
Yeah, I think it'd be really funny if it was just a bunch of doms.
Yeah, Orc Army is perfect for the upcoming team events. If your squad wins, Orc Army is great for the squad.
Totally.
Too bad that somebody will snatch it before then.
Yeah, too bad Dom's gonna spike the very first event and claim it as his own.
That'd be so double showdown, right? The first weekend is it double token as well then?
Yeah, each showdown winner gets a token.
Sick.
Yeah, that you get an automatic bid to champs and you get your token. And yeah.
Love that.
So
we're gonna queue 2 people soon. Wow.
We are. Very exciting. 24 people making it to champs this year. We've upped the cap, upped the prize money, $35,000, and a Pro Tour bid.
That's so cool.
So gas, man. So exciting.
Dude, that's gas.
That's sick. What's this? Is this a ornithopter?
That's Ornithopter.
Oh, okay. It's unfamiliar art to me.
That's one of the many reprints.
Yeah, that card's come out a few times.
Shieldred. Now we can value because every Yogg activation nets 1 life now. I love it as Shieldred. The one of in Yogg main deck Shieldred, so good.
I love it, the Shieldred.
I love it as Shieldred.
Now we can dig without a care in the world.
And we have a Cord in hand.
But we don't have undying creatures.
We're close.
Where are any of our where are young Wheezies at?
Yeah, where's young Wheezy?
All right, we'll go to combat here though. Making use of the dice.
And the green dice,
Mhm.
those are Wall of Roots activations.
Right. So those are minus O,
Minus
one.
O, minus 1s. Because Yogg don't need that butt.
Yogg's got some butt to spare.
Cord. We're gonna try to push. Yep, here's this young wolf. Ornithopter looks like it's on blocking duty.
Blocking duty. We also have an Ursa Saga we can make.
Oh
a
yeah,
creature
construct. The issue
with.
is
3/3.
I wonder if we're
Not
yeah.
nothing.
Danny's gonna use this young wolf to kill the Ornithopter before it can even block. This is the grindy Yawgmoth plan.
Shoulder trigger. Drew a card. Life totals. Danny's keeping track. There we go. He's keeping track.
There we go. Yep. Because we're going
Cool.
up each time we activate. So we hit it twice there for both of the 2 activations we've done so far.
You gotta make a construct here.
Yeah, and the question though is the construct we also still just can do 2 damage to it through the use of rinse and recycling this young wolf, so it would barely be a blocker anyways.
Now at the end step, make one and see it survive.
Huh.
Oh,
I wonder if there's a
construct
way.
token would be a good one too to pick.
I'm thinking if there's a way we could have manipulated this turn and discarded the Yogg to proliferate.
Flash in an Orcish Bowmaster, go to draw, kill you.
Yeah, go to draw, kill you.
Yup.
That's the game. All right. The question is will we spoil Sam's spies?
He submitted his deck list, so he did. I saw it come in. It's not. It's not what he's playing.
Dang,
He
it's
submitted
hidden.
the wrong
The spice
list.
is hidden.
Oh my god.
Here is the
Samuel.
list. This is the list Sam had at 6:15 today.
Okay.
And the list submitted at 6:30 is a little different.
Interesting. Okay.
All right, I'll spoil the spice after we look at both the deck lists. But
Okay.
that Sam won't take the spice out, and 4 of these planes are for Inspiring Vantage.
Okay.
But this sideboard, Draenith Magistrates, Solitudes, Blacksmith Skills, Helping Hand, shout out, Pithing Needle, and Cursed Totems. Gosh, what card do people bring in against Yawgmoth?
It's a card that I think we see in every single sideboard every single time. It's that Cursed Totem.
These 3 totems, this Pithing Needle, these 4 Solitudes, and maybe these Helping Hands. We could be bringing in a pile
Just
of
bringing
cards.
a ton of cards in this matchup. Lots of good stuff. The question is, what do you cut here?
Yeah.
A couple of one-ofs you could trim on. Lots of
Yeah.
four-ofs.
The Steel Shaper gift, trim. 2 Ornithopters, trim probably.
I would say Esper Sentinel's non-creature spell. That carries hammers, though.
Sentinel seems weak, actually. I don't mind that.
Yeah. You do need one-drop creatures, though. Like.
Yeah.
Anyway, this isn't even his list, so let's move on. Let's
mean,
look
it
at
is.
Danny's list. It is his list, technically.
But it isn't.
But it isn't. He's got some funkiness. Let's look at Danny's list here.
Is this Danny or Stock Yogg? Stock Yogg.
Are
Danny
you
had card troubles. We're looking at Stock Yogg.
Right, yes. He did not have time to submit a deck list. That's all good, though. We still love and appreciate
This could
him.
be pretty close. We see the one of Shieldred. This one even has 2 main deck endurances. I mean, 'tis the season. But there's a non-zero chance Danny may be on 3 cauldrons over some of these endurances, but little tweaks here and there could be the same. What's important is they're very, very likely to have things like Terra Sunder, Force of Vigors, and Fatal Pushes in their sideboards. I think any access to cards like that, these Haywire Mites, and maybe even the Fulminator Mage, anything along those lines all give you little spots of doing really precision interactions with the hammer deck.
Mainboard Haywire Might and Force of Vigors, I think, are what I'm going for the most. Just anything that removes a curse totem off the field is my biggest priority if I was a Yawgmoth player, which I'm not.
But the best part is you get to bring those in, Lancer Totem, and Hammer. That's a perfect sideboard.
Yeah, it's some good overlap there because it's Hammer is such an artifact-based deck that you can bring in your sideboard pieces, hate pieces, anti-hate pieces, etc. Let's tune back into the action.
All right.
Those players shuffle up. Do we want to get a peek at that backup match that was happening over there? Let's see what's going on.
Rhinos versus Grizzy Wizzies.
Grixis Wizards.
But the real wizard seems to be this Tidebinder with these rhinoceroses. Also a good token to get in the 2024 season.
Yeah, that one hasn't been claimed, so it could be yours.
Oh, and you should get one that like mirrors Dykeman's, so you can put both together to be your two rhinos.
If you have the rhino riding the pilot, do the opposite.
Do the opposite. Because like I think Dykeman's is the rhinos looking to the right, so you get like yours looking to the left, so they could like, pair
I see
up.
what you're saying. I thought I was thinking in a different reverse.
Yeah, that's good too, though.
All right. We'll check back in on this match later if they're still playing once our feature finishes up.
Could I request? Can we bring up a card on screen? Can I bring up Cacophony Scamp?
Let's give that a quick look
Can we bring up
the
Scamp?
Is that what it is?
Can we bring up the Scamp?
I seen this card on Arena before. This is the
from Pioneer Hammer.
Yeah, when it does combat damage, you can sacrifice it, and then it deals.
And then you can fling it.
Yeah, and then you can fling it. All right, cool. Let's see.
This game is underway. Inspiring Advantage into Sigarda's Aid.
Let's see.
There's the Scamp. Deals damage, you may sacrifice it if you do proliferate, but when it dies, deals damage equal to its power. If you put a hammer on it, it'll deal 11 and then throw itself for 11, and that's the 1-2 punch.
That's sick. That's sick with it.
Yeah. But Sam did this last minute and went, it'll be fine. I walked away for a minute, came back. Sam said, I'm playing 68. I went, Sam, you can't. I said, Sam, you can't do that. Trim 4 of these planes for the inspiring advantages. He said, okay. So then he's playing 64.
Oh, gosh. Okay, interesting. Well, he's 1-1, so it can't be going too poorly.
No, because the deck still functions.
Yeah.
There's just 4 little guys floating around in addition to the rest that you have.
Snowforge Mystic will grab a Colossus Hammer here and will get Fatal Pushed on Danny's, or on Sam's end step, excuse me, heading to Danny's turn here.
Another card out of the board, right? These pushes allow you to have answers to every creature out of Sam's deck.
Let's see, what is Sam's placement on the leaderboard? I know Danny's very high up currently.
I think Sam had to miss a week or two getting a slow start this month.
Can we pull up the leaderboard for a second, Bryce, just so people can get a peek at that? While we're shuffling up.
And we're shuffling, we're taking a peek.
There
you
we
see
go.
You see Danny floating at the top, the Burn Boy all the way at the tippy toppy, myself in 13th.
Yeah, you had a good show last week with Titan.
Yeah, I love it. And a lot of these players you see out there in the field today, so we'll take a peek. 7 and 8 playing on our backup right now. A lot of busy Magic out there.
Yeah, this is a 12-week league, so there's still lots and lots of points to be had.
Yeah,
so
a long
day.
Stuff
there.
Lots of weeks, lots of games. Good weeks to spike, good weeks to show up. Really get you. There's
there's
we
the
scamping.
Boy, and we got a reader of I would read this card too.
Time to get the shrimp scampi out. It's munching time.
Oh gosh. Oh goodness. All right, we're just gonna play it and pass.
Yeah, but the bonkening could be coming.
Do we have a surge to protect this scamp?
Because we've already used the Stoneforge this game, and the Stoneforge picked up a hammer.
It did, and we have an Ink Moth too. Huge plays here.
Yeah,
Danny got to be shaking in his boots.
And Danny used their push already.
He did.
So we're 1, 2, 3. Grist.
You got a minus.
Grist ain't it, Chief. You're going to kill this scamp?
Yeah, you got to kill the scamp.
You died Inkmoth.
You do.
Hammer rules. Hammer does not play a lot of turns, but if you can get there in the first few. Ooh, the 1/1 insect token for Grist for the Yawg gamers out there.
That'd be a good one.
They would use their own token a lot.
Chris Smith qualified with an at-large bid, so he didn't get a token. I feel like that would probably be his pick.
Yeah.
as a known Yogg player.
This is a known Yogger. My favorite type of pants, Yoggers.
Favorite type of shoes, young Wheezies.
Yeah, the Wheezies.
Bit of a tank.
Yeah, because I
Bit of a
think Danny's
tanky.
realizing that these cards are not the answers you're looking for.
Yeah.
And we did have a cord, and I would have kind of liked to save up the cord for 2, and then cord for 2 in response to the bonk and shoot the guy.
Block with this here.
And Sam not going for the big bonk.
He didn't.
Respect. I would have bonked. Walroots deals no damage, so the scamp can scamp again.
Could get a George update. How's George doing?
He's Georgian.
Right now, Bryce. We can take a peek at him.
He's sitting in the sea of 1/1s.
He is
on the hunt
one.
for some victories. And
Hanging out. The scamp is scary, but it's not doing too much yet.
now I think we're responding to this bow boy. Sorry, I'll use these cards related to this Orcish Bowmaster. We're possibly responding with a Surge or a Blacksmith skill to kind of use this as a counter spell / kill the 1/1 that you would make, as the ability won't resolve.
And that's important too. The bodies on Yogg are very important because they can be fuel for a cord or a fuel to chuck under a Yogg. So every
body counts.
Every body counts.
But now our scamp died, and we have 1 damage to deal.
Ooh.
And what do we want to kill? Kill the Bowmaster.
Gotta.
Love it. Great choice.
Yeah, easy.
And when it dies, you can proliferate, and I would add a counter to this Wall of Root.
Oh.
Just put it closer to death.
Oh, that's sick. Moves. When it does combat damage, you may sacrifice it, then proliferate, I think.
Yep. And then when it dies, fling it.
So then, yeah, we wouldn't have been able to because we were fully through combat.
Yeah, I got blocked by that wall.
Yeah.
And now Danny, like I said, doesn't really have the best pieces. And I think as the turns go on, it's going to kind of reveal that Danny may not have an answer to the big bonk. And if Sam decides that they're ready, we may be waiting for a 4th mana source to hold up Surge plus bonk.
I think so. Yeah, we don't want to throw this Inkmoth out unnecessarily because Danny's got interaction and removal.
And by bonk, I mean play a Colossus Hammer, move it onto Inkmoth, and do 11 points of
I appreciate your attempt to return to a bit of professionalism on the stream.
The thing is bonk is such a universal term used by a specifically hammer.
Yes. Ever since playing Super Smash Brothers, you just gotta,
And I will always remember borrowing hammer for a weekly and just combo killing someone on turn 2 and being like, oh, sweet deck.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened to me too. I picked it up or I borrowed it and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I want this all the time.
So much time for snacks. You thought Burn had time?
Yeah, me and Adam get to spend a lot of time together in between rounds.
And now Danny has entered the grindy plan again. Has Yawgmoth, has Young Wolf, has a lot of tokens to spare that can allow us to cancel out the token on this Young Wolf. It looks like the one of Strangler Geist in hand. I remember when that used to be a Stone Cold 4 of in this deck, but the card quality's gone up and up and up. The Strangler numbers have gone down. And here we are. You see us resetting this Young Wolf and using this just to draw cards, churn through our deck, and just have full resources. And this is why I think Force of Vigor is a good sideboard card for this Yawgmoth deck. So you can draw a lot of cards but sometimes not have a lot of mana, but you can excess green cards to pitch away. That can allow you to interact at instant speed while also dealing with your excess cards.
Oh, Sam drew an Inspiring Vantage.
No, Boros Guildgate.
No. That's a great hammer emote in chat, by the way. That's a good one.
I don't know where that came from, but I love it. Another Bowmaster coming in, dealing 1 point of damage upstairs to Sammy G, bringing him down to 16. And growing that Halo Foil Orc Army token. Big Rips. Forest. We're looking at a hand of Bowmaster. I think Cauldron, and I think Wall of Roots from the quick glance that I see on the edge of the
Yeah,
hand.
you got such better eyes than I do. I cannot tell at all.
I just unfortunately know what the card arts look like.
Yeah, yeah.
I've stared at all these cards for far too long.
All the creatures crept up a little bit on the board there. I was gonna move to combat. I think we still got some pre-combat stuff to be done here.
Soul Cauldron. And now
It's the best thing to pitch. Is the Blood Artist in the graveyard? Oh my god.
oh,
Oh no, it's a
is Paul Blardist Mall Cop in the graveyard?
it might be a borderless bowmaster.
Oh, it might be a Borderless Bowmaster. Okay.
I can't remember if his Blood Artist is the Double Master's borderless.
I don't
or
believe
not.
so. I thought aren't they still in Cutthroat? Aren't we a Cutthroat household?
I can't remember.
I know Ermon's on Cutthroat. I thought Danny might be as well still.
What's the one that's good against Ring?
That's a Cutthroat.
Then it's probably Cutthroat.
Yeah, there's a lot of rings out there. Solitude. Pitch Forgenew.
On the Yogg. I'm a Cutthroat gamer.
I'm a Cutthroat gamer. I'm a big fan. I was playing it even before the ring.
Why's that?
I played it and Blood Artist, so that opponents like, if they try to like take one away from you in some way, you'd always have another.
That's nice. Yeah.
Because it was during the era of people playing like some sort of surgical effect. I got slaughter gamed one
Like
time.
the Stone Brain or something.
Stone Brain was the one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, getting a lot of Stone Brain happening. So they would like, I'll take Blood Artist and be like, haha.
Cutthroat and Obelisk.
Okay, a
Spider?
little obelisk spider action.
What's that?
Wildness.
I don't know what
An
that card
Amonkhet Draft Chaff. I know it cares about -1 counters.
Interesting. We go along with Hapatra.
Yeah. And the neg
NRG.
counters from Yogg-Dog, the grandfather of Phyrexian Oil himself, Yawgmoth, the Threatened Physician.
Speaking of, we're doing a lot of Yawgmoth activations in response to this Solitude.
Whenever a -1 creature is put on a creature, drain for 1, that's
cool.
the spider.
Yes.
Cool beans. I played Eternal Witness in my Yogg deck. I'm actually going to pitch it to Danny. I think he should try it out again.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just have Danny and Ermon playtest for me.
There you go.
Yep. So we have the Soul Cauldron with the Wall of Roots. So you can see this green die in this Orc army. This is activation for mana. This Young Wolf has a 1/1 counter. So remember, that means it also has access to the Soul Cauldron. But the thing is this Young Wolf might be a part of Danny's kind of aggressive plan. And we might be incentivized for it to have as big a toughness as possible. But maybe not. We could use it for mana if need be.
Mm-hmm. I think I see a Boseiju in hand, which seems
Woof.
super strong here. Hits that Ink Moth, which is nutty.
I love Boseiju. I'm currently playing 4 in Amulet Titan.
Four?
4.
That's so many, man.
Yeah. You try to beat me, I'll Boseiju you.
That's crazy.
Get Boseiju'd.
Get Boseiju'd.
It's incredible.
This Gris creeping up in loyalty. Not too many things. Creatures in the graveyard because they are going in the soup.
Yeah, they're in the soup.
Urza Saga will be land for turn for Sam. We got 2 cards in hand here. We will animate this Ink Moth next
It's
to go to
time.
combat.
We've been waiting for this additional mana source.
And I think Danny says, do you have it?
Bonk. Bonk.
Hammer.
Yep. Danny's making sure I say no blocks. Then you give it hammer. I can't block. I take infect, right? That's how this works.
Mm-hmm. Now, Hammer gets rid of flying on a creature, but you can reactivate the Ink Moth Nexus to give it flying again. It's only on the equip that it removes flying.
Yep. Or if our opponent said no blocks and it doesn't matter, we've already moved past that phase of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And there's the protection. So I've been waiting all these turns.
Danny's
and
got another
here
thing.
comes the Boseiju, right? Another bow.
Another bow.
Dang. And we still have Boseiju then locked and loaded in hand for later. Sheesh indeed.
Sam just dead?
So Sam's not dead now, but the thing is, this Saga's 2 turns.
6, 7, 8 damage right now on board. Wait, Strangle Root, I think I forgot to count. So 10 damage.
So this Yogg, we need to proliferate these +1/+1 counters if we can.
What's the cost to
BB.
proliferate? Just 2 black?
Yeah, black is the cost to proliferate.
So then we kill? Turn
We
sideways
have-
kill?
We only have 1 available in this Verdant Catacombs.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if we had tapped Oh, we need a double B here for this Yawgmoth. Okay, we just did not have access to enough black mana. Yawgmoth really is a mono green deck splashing this double black card. And that's the game. Scoop them all up. Just showing the tools, but just didn't quite come together. That's 2-0 for our Yawgmoth player. Danny P looking to regain their #1 slot. Took a round 1 loss just because they couldn't get here in time, and not going to let that hold them back.
Yeah, absolutely showing why he's on the top of the leaderboard there. Well done, 2-0 from Danny. Let's head into our backup match, though. You saw a sneak peek of it earlier, and here it is in full. Marty
We're
on
back.
Rhinos, Ray on Grixis Wizards, number 7 and 8 on the leaderboards. And here they are. Let's see what this board state is. We got a Ring and a Sholdred on Ray's side. 2 honorary Wizards and Ragavan and Sholdred here. Then Marty's got a singular Rhino, a Shardless Agent, and a Crashing Footfalls on Suspend. And here comes another Cascade spell.
Can you remember which one of them is number 7, which one's number 8?
I can check real quick. Hold on.
can-
Ray is 7 and Marty is 8.
Sweet. We should see if we can figure out how to add this to this overlay.
I think we can do it pretty easily. You just put it in like their name.
Or we could put it after their record, last space down there.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
And we have Marty revealed their whole deck, found this Rhino.
If Ray is bold enough to play SSS, what is SSS? Stern Scolding Stinks.
Stern scolding stinks. That's not true anymore, unfortunately.
Spell Stutter Sprite.
Okay. And speaking of which, we got Ray's life total backwards. They're not at 13, they're at 31.
Oh, goodness. That is much more life than 13. That's probably due to this Sholdred
this
ring.
Shieldred combo.
Yeah. Take 4 life from these burn encounters. No biggie.
Yep. Gain 2, go back up to 29.
Look at this grip of cards we got going on, too.
And
Beautiful.
Rhinos is a tempo deck, right? Really good at like getting some threats in play and answering like 2 or 3 cards until the game ends. We are far past that stage of the game. Ray has a grip of hands. There's just a couple of Rhinos. Shieldred is a 4/5, big enough butt to fight the Rhinos. It's going to be really hard to smash through with these.
Indeed. Ray's going to continue to grind through his deck here. Oh, and an EE.
Uh-oh.
EE, that'll be enough. Just scoop it up there.
EE, everybody leaves, right? Off to game number 3.
Get out of here. We need some time to play game 3 here, folks.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at deck lists. I believe our players have submitted. We're going to get those loaded up real quick. Ray with the infinite life combo.
Right,
Ring plus
life total
Sholdred.
go up, right?
Yeah. Go monkey
Woo-wee.
brain, see number go
Yeah.
up.
See, what Marty is looking to do here is interact with a force, a dispute, just a couple of those to fight back against Ray's really high impact cards, land 2 Rhinos, attack a couple of times, and end the game. Because if we get to that stage where Ray's really built up, it's almost impossible for Rhinos to fight back.
Yeah, Rhinos, like you said, is tempo. It can deal with a couple of things, but the card advantage that the ring offers, it just continues to give you things to answer, and Rhinos begins to run out of resources at some point.
Right. Rhinos truly is not built to play more than like 7 turns of the game.
They want to get it over.
The Grizzy Wizzies are here, the Grixis Wizards.
The 61 card special. This is Ray's full 76. We got Flusterstorm, Spell Pierce, Stern Scolding, Thoughtseize, Brotherhood End, Engineered Explosives, Alpine Moon, and a Pithy Needle in the side.
2 engineered explosives, the 3 Thoughtseizes, the Pierce, and the Flusterstorms. I'll take all of those if you'll let me.
Put them all in there. We taken out some cards.
Yeah, because these Flusterstorms, these are anti-cascade cards. The Spell Pierce is in case you want one more if you feel like the Pierces you have made or the counter spells you have made aren't quite enough. If you want to be a little bit faster, you can bring in this Pierce. And these EEs, those are exactly targeted at removing all these Rhinos. And Thoughtseize if you want to get really ahead of the cascade spells. The issue is the tug and pull of discard card counter spell. If you play Thoughtseize and they show you 2 Cascaders, you no longer have the answer. You'll take one, they'll play the other. But if you hold up counter spell, they can only play 1 Cascader, and you can 1 for 1 there. So the question will be where you want to be on that spectrum of interaction, because you don't want to get caught with them having 2 and you only having 1 answer.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at a Rhinos deck as well. Is this Marty's submitted deck list? It is. Marty is rocking Endurances, Brotherhood End, Mystical Disputes, Force of Vigor, Blood Moon, and a Boseiju in his sideboard.
I wonder if we're feeling Blood Moony, So the reason I think this is because we're up against a Grixis deck that's trying to cast cards like Shieldred, which means they're really needing to stretch their mana, right? I imagine at most maybe like one of each basic. If I'm trying to plan in the dark, probably no mountain. So probably just one swamp, one island at a minimum. When we're on the play, we might be able to just tag them with the turn 3 Blood Moon that they're not able to answer and really ruin their mana. On top of that, I'm looking at these disputes.
I was gonna say
Even
disputes as well. Yeah.
Even if it's just 3 mana leak, we need to fight back against Shieldred, Ring, and other big cards out of Ray.
Absolutely. Let's see how this game 3 shakes out here in round 3 of Wednesday Night Modern League. 2 heavy hitters on our leaderboard, battling it out for some points. We'll start with a Stern Scolding. Excuse me. Lorien
Lorien
revealed, getting cycled. Sorry, that showcase.
It's all good.
That showcase scroll is tripping me up there.
Bryce, in Ray's deck, how many basics does he have? We rocking an island in a swamp?
Yeah, I see him there.
Just island swamp. So I think it could 2 swamps. So
Okay, we could still cast a Shieldred.
Smart to cast Shieldred around Blood Moons, but the question is do you expect them? Do you play around them? You see Marty here starting on Forest Cycle for Steam Vents. Now the question could be that if Marty just finds their island, they could very easily cast most of their spells and play around their own Blood Moon. And they could just lock Ray. And remember, on top of all of that, we're just doing the Rhino stuff.
And then Bryce, correct me if I'm wrong, because I believe we've seen this from Marty before. He's running a mountain proper in his deck as well. No?
He probably is. I hate the mountain.
Yeah, I don't understand it either, but
So,
he does do that.
It's the increase in kind of these more aggressive decks, kind of like, your Burns, your Scales, your Yogs, stuff like pressuring your life total. Just allowing yourself the opportunity to find turn 1 red mana against cards like Ragavan for your dead gons without needing to bolt yourself in order to do so.
Right.
It's fine.
It's okay, yeah.
I
There's logic to it. It's definitely not there for no reason.
Right. Mountain to me, I think, is a card that I'm very unlikely to register in any deck that isn't literal mono red.
What about?
Because basics
is
are
it
just
Murktide?
there. Nope.
No.
Murktide's just 3 islands.
Oh yeah.
No need.
Okay.
Everything else is a red source.
Including the is it Guild Gates?
Including those of the guild gates. And we see Marty here fetching up their breeding pool, showing that our looks like our mana for the game is Forest Breeding Pool. Steam Vents. If I'm your opponent, you're kind of showing me this doesn't seem like a Blood Moon mana base. You would have looked up the island for that Lorien revealed if you could.
Agreed.
But we might also just be stuck on not having access to red, and Lorien kind of fixed that problem.
We see a Violent Outburst, so that'll be Marty's play at Ray's end step. We'll see if Ray plays some stuff out, holds up interaction, shakes his head a little bit. I see a Flame of Anor. Is he missing a land? He is.
We are. Oh, this is incredible for Marty. So we can just let Ray pass their turn, not go for our rhinos, and then we could go for it in response to them cracking Scalding Tarn. But what Marty's going to do here is we're going to Violent Outburst now to use up Ray's interaction, untap, play the Shardless in our hand. This is kind of the bait, but the best bait possible is your instant speed outburst.
It's not even bait.
It's not bait.
Yeah.
But you are forced to do it.
It's just having 2 threats.
Exactly.
So we'll counter the one there, play it out probably the way Dom has said here.
Yeah. Marty, I imagine, is going to probably try to hold up a dispute if we had one. Doesn't look like it, so we might just slam and move on.
Play that. Do we see another Violent Outburst? Oh my goodness. No, we'll just play Shardless.
Shardless away.
Seems good.
And I believe we have a Subtlety in hand, so that can answer a lot of problems if in the forms of the creatures that Ray could have out of their deck. There's the footfalls. Oh, you know what? They might use this is related to earlier conversation. You know how they're doing Crashing Footfalls on the special guest slot for the upcoming set?
Yes,
that may be how we get a cool leyline binding. They may just kind of slip it into the special guests. That could be a way to do it without doing it through secret layers.
There you go. That's a good point.
Or they could reprint it in MH3.
That's another strong point. MH3 is going to have some.
It's going to have some.
It's going to have some cards in it. It's going to have some real good cards in it.
Terminate, kill a single rhino. It doesn't feel good, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
Speaking of good cards, hopefully, I don't know. Are there any Karlov cards that you've been eyeing for the modern format, or do you think it's going to be more standard relevant?
I believe Insidious Roots is a new card that people are expecting to do some big Yogg stuff.
Oh yeah, what's that card do?
If a card leaves your graveyard, you make a plant token, and all your creature tokens tap for mana.
Ooh, that does seem like something Yogg would really make good use out of.
Yeah, we can chat while they're getting this Rhino v Grixis set up. And then a part that's very important is you make a plant, then you put a counter on every plant you have.
Oh,
so
that's
this could be
huge.
some like real sideways big.
And then it synergizes with Cauldron too.
It synergizes with Cauldron.
Oh my
And
goodness.
it synergizes with the Oval Chase Daredevil cookbook stuff.
Oh, interesting.
A lot's coming.
That is cool.
Because there's a lot of cards in the upcoming set that care about a card leaving your graveyard because of collect evidence.
Yeah.
But we have a couple synergies set up in Magic already that care about a card leaving, but we've never just cared about that part. Now we have cards that are going to incentivize to do that. Someone in chat pointing out Delaney, the new Panharmonicon for two power or less creatures.
Yeah, that's the scout, like the alley scout or whatever it's called.
Yeah, yes. There's more words after Delaney's name.
Delney?
Yeah, Delney. Delney, I believe, is chat's pointing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Snapcaster, a card that could trigger off a Delney in the future. But I know folks are expecting this could possibly be one more piece to try to bring D&T back.
Mikey pointing out the new
new land.
Surveil, the fetchable Surveil lands.
So many of folk believe that Rhinos specifically might be the best deck to put one of the Surveils into because you don't use your early mana and you do a lot of early fetching for tap lands. Might as well get a little extra benefit out of that.
Yeah, get some goodness going there. Double Bowmaster triggers seems hot. Absolutely.
We're looking here at this One Ring, and this One Ring resolving, giving a little turn reprieve against our Rhinos opponent.
We're sitting at 1 point of life. Don't think this ring's going to be tapping
No,
anytime
that's a fog
soon.
right there. And this is the Rhino plan, right? Your opponent stumbled for a moment, for a turn on
You missed
mana.
a single land
Just
drop.
push the pressure as hard as you can. Get the gas pedal all the way down. Putting 10 power in play for one card does that to an opponent. Remember, we terminated one of these Rhinos.
Yeah.
And we still went attack for 6, play subtlety.
Yep. All goodness there.
And Ray's own mana base punishing them. A lot of fetch shocking to get
yeah,
this
yeah.
Steam Vents and Watery Graves all set up.
Indeed.
Also, I'm a retired creativity gamer.
You are.
Many creativity folks believe that they're going to try one of the new lands in creativity. Same deal. You do a lot of just like fetching for mountains. So allowing you to get a little chance to surveil to set up your draw when you're looking for one important card could definitely help there. And in creativity, I really want to play Deduce, the new Think Twice.
Oh, you were talking about that when it got
Yes.
spoiled a while ago. Yeah, that card looks really fun.
Just the idea of one in a blue, draw a card, investigate. It seems like a George DeBoer card. I do know that he already bought 4 of them. I think we're going to see him in Standard, Pioneer, Modern. Just Think Twice was a card people were in love with. This costs 1 less on the flashback, which sacking the clue. I think we'll see it. I think we'll see it
there. Yeah. Oh, I wish Skyfall had the showcase art. If we could pull that up, that one's so cool looking.
But I love using this image. Do you know the butterfly meme? Is this a blah, blah, blah? I've been using the picture of Deduce and saying, is this a creativity card?
Oh, that's so good. I love that.
Yeah. As Ray is holding on for dear life as a Flame of Anor is trying to be cast. The Snapcasters, I imagine, probably trying to dispute this flame. But I think Ray's doing a little bit of memeing here as Marty's got a lot rolled up in all this power in play.
Flame of Anor? You're pitching.
Subtlety
to a
pitching this Flame of
subtlety,
Anor.
Counter the snap.
Right? You don't even get to snap something back because it's never showing up.
Sorry. Fluster on the Flame of Anor.
We've just cast so many spells.
Yeah. Why is there a burden counter on your ring, Ray? Ray, why is there a burden counter on your ring?
I think Ray's just
I
playing along at
I
home.
think I can read his lips. I think he said, I'm not dead yet. I'm not dead yet. You're dead very soon.
Yeah, I think we're dead now.
I think we're dead now.
Oh,
Oh.
ooh, oh.
Flashing a Ragavan?
Yeah, the memins, the jokins, but this is the Rhino plan. This is a very powerful deck. This plus Yogg, you saw them both this round. They are sitting at the top of modern Magic in general with the RC on the horizon, these are the decks to be on the lookout for.
Absolutely. Marty will advance to 2-1 in our third round of Magic. Before we head into a break, though, I'm going to remind y'all, if you would like to discuss deck lists or our Modern League or any of the other kind of games that we play at the store, check out our Discord. You can find leaderboard updates there. You get first announcements for when new pre-orders go on sale or when new inventory goes up. That is the very first place that we post is our Discord. So that is where you get exclusive first chance grabs at all of our fantastic stuff that we offer as a store. With that being said, that'll wrap up round 3 coverage. We'll be right back for round 4.
See y'all soon.
Stay tuned. What's up, gamers? It's the last round of Wednesday Night Modern League. We got a good one for you. Person asking in chat, any cool decks being played tonight? How about
check it out?
Hamza, some land destruction for you?
It's about
Don't mind
to
if
go
I
down.
do. I'll update deck names as well here.
Yeah, I have to tell you, last week I sat down to play during one of my rounds. I'm playing Amulet Titan. I
Mhm.
looked to my left. What's that? Uh-oh. And thankfully dodged Harrison for the whole night, but
Yeah, that seems like a rough matchup for you.
Bounce Land v Stone Ran can't be good. Oh, yeah. Check out this Ragavan. Pretty cool card, right?
Yeah,
Be a
Harrison
shame if anything
played
happens.
played a bunch of Magic pre-COVID, missed out on the Modern Horizon sets. I
Welcome
think
back.
he might have some updated stuff to his deck since then, but has just
I
been
know.
crushing it with Panza. It's been sick. This is the deck
Yep.
he's played forever and pilots it well, apparently.
Last week, Harrison being my hero, I saw them resolve a Glory Bringer.
Ooh.
And just,
oh, yes!
just getting people. Oh, my
Glory
goodness.
banger, baby.
Yep. Unbelievable. Right now, we have Blood Moon and Magus of the Moon in hand, and Harrison is debating, do I just do it? Do I slam jam this?
Absolutely. You got to play the Blood Moon proper because,
Well, Murktide's going to have so many answers to Magus.
yeah,
But
right?
they're
It's a
not going
creature.
to have all those answers to Blood Moon proper.
Mm-mm.
Just
Mm-mm.
Otawara.
Oh, just Otawara, yeah.
And that's so many turns from now. So if you can catch Andrew with no islands,
Mm-hmm.
they just have the 3 and a pile of fetch and red lands, we might be clear for takeoff. But we're going to do a little stomp. Kill this Ragavan. Love it. Beautiful
Value
play.
it. Get in for a point of damage? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
That's what Arboreal, not Arbor Elf is here for us for the beats.
Not our Boreal Grazer. This one actually has some power to it. We cannot see that life total at all. Oh my goodness. Might need to.
That's a holy phone.
It's blessed.
Ledger Shredder. Oh, look, Andrew, Fed shocking, getting this land. They don't even know what's coming for them.
They don't know.
They don't even know what's coming for them.
Él no sabe.
What?
He doesn't know.
Oh,
Spanish.
yo no sé.
Yeah.
Oh, he doesn't even know. Get him, Harrison. I'm not rooting for anybody, but I do love
I know
Ponza.
Ponza is so easy to root for, right? Because it's so fun.
It's fun when you're an outsider looking in. If
Mhm,
I was
mhm.
Andrew, I would not.
I
be
would
having
I would
it.
hate to play against Ponza. I'd be like, what
Ah,
the heck?
the-
Not having lands is like the least fun experience in
Mhm.
Magic.
The balloon is here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and it's very important, right, that Harrison killed off the Ragavan. It would have been the Treasure Maker,
That's
which
a
would
good
allow you to
point.
play out from under this.
I take that for sure.
Now, Andrew's going to be forced to only play our red cards. Thankfully, that's DRC, Bolts, Unholy Heats.
Mm-hmm.
But Counterspell, Expressive Iteration?
Yeah.
Nope. Murktide Regent? No, sir.
No sir at all. We
The-
can't fetch for our islands either, so we
Nope.
just have to find them proper.
And the best use for our blue cards might be hoping to draw a 1 of Force, maybe a 1 of Subtlety, just trying to use them as
Mhm.
pitch cards.
We'll get a connive trigger off this Ledger Shredder.
Squid Murktide? Bennett, Gonzo.
In a Murktide.
Because Andrew is going to be on the beat plan here, right? We
Mhm.
have creature land in the graveyard already. Otawara played out as our land.
Whoa. That's a basic mountain.
I think Andrew's plan is kill.
Dang. All right.
Right?
Yeah. Trigger.
Andrew has pivoted very quickly
Mm-hmm.
into the mono red Murktide plan.
Yeah, we're gonna kill with these Dragon's Rage channelers. It's delirious. No, not quite.
We're
We have
trying to
2
get there.
creatures. Excuse me.
Because
We're
we're on the
working
hunt
on
for
it.
artifact or sorcery to pair with this bolt, but we
He
kept
that on
surveil.
tape. Maybe it's an island. Wait, did he have an island in hand? Did I just see an island?
Andrew.
No.
No.
Okay, never mind.
Not
I
yet.
got super excited. Maybe he
It's
saw an island on
another
top.
Murktide.
It seemed like a snap keep on top with the surveil.
Or is it just like more bolts?
Could be.
I'm ready to bolt. The
All right.
balloon.
Yeah, it's symmetrical, so you can't fetch either.
Oh, Harrison. Another blood moon in hand. Bolt in hand.
I would. No, you can't even bolt the ledger shredder immediately. It's 2/4.
And it's interesting because the DRCs aren't delirious, but you know they're on the plan to be delirious.
Indeed. They're gonna do their best. Ponzaga is 3-0 again.
Harrison killing it out here. Terrifying players,
Crushing.
slaughtering mana bases, and crushing the record.
Bricklebear, come beat him, dude. Come play at the store, man. What
Oh,
you
you mean
doing?
4-color guy? Yeah, good luck against Ponza. Woo-wee.
Just trying to buff the stats a little bit. Gotta get that metagame going.
Gotta get that metagame going.
I think I might take a peek at it today. I think 4 weeks of data might be a good
Ooh, start getting a metagame going.
Get some stats there.
As Magus of the Moon's here, maybe I'm blocking dude. It was the island. Good call. The snap surveil was the island.
Sick. That's good stuff right there.
Tapping so hard the DRC launched across the table. Ledger Shredder number 2, thanks this unlocked island. It's hard to be the Blood Moon deck against Ponza because Murktide is the Blood Moon deck. They know this plan.
Yeah. This is the deck that's probably best insulated against a Blood Moon effect. All right, figuring out exactly what we're most afraid of here. They're just 1/1s right now. I'd be more afraid of the bird lawyers.
Yeah, the hard part is we don't have answers for those ones.
We don't.
No Delirium because we kept the... I
Mm-hmm.
think we're killing the non-foil one. Great choice.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, because Andrew doesn't have Delirium yet, so these are still stompable, but this may be kind of the last turn where that's a possibility.
Now we'll bolt. Oh, no. Sir, you're going to
That's your second
trigger.
spell.
That's your second spell. I've done this
Dangerous.
too.
Dangerous. This is like the Goif trick. We all learned it.
Yes. All right, so
Yeah.
Andrew explaining to him exactly
But
what's happening.
you are forcing Andrew to discard a spell proper.
That's a good point.
So if Andrew draws a land here, they want to discard the land they draw, but they may be forced to discard the spell they have.
Yeah, Andrew explained, like, I may not have something to discard here, but he is. He's going to pitch a Murktide, which seems like a good bin. Honestly, those counter spell, yeah, both 2 double blue things there.
Uncastable spells. This goes to a 1/4 now with 3 damage. We're going to do with the second shredder. Ooh, a heat? Oh, yeah.
Ooh, don't mind if I do. That bolt
Drop
won't
it.
hold up in court.
Great joke for the bird lawyer here. This legal eagle just holding it up.
And this is exactly what I was talking about when we had Murktide on earlier. You try and claw yourself back, and you end up fueling them with these ledger shredders.
Yeah, you did say that earlier, and that's exactly like pound for pound, word for word, moment for moment with what happened here.
Look at that. My commentary's getting better.
Heck yeah.
I'm getting good at this, folks. Check me out.
Check it out. See, and I think this is I would love to see the true details of this Ponza deck in the future because we're relying so heavily on these moon effects as opposed to like a Stone Rain proper. If we had Stone Rain Andrew once or twice, none of this would have been available to them.
I was gonna say the same thing too. For Ponza, we haven't seen any land destruction. We've just seen land neutralization.
Yes, right. We have a pile of moon effects. We have these Bone Crusher Giants and bolts. That's all we've seen so far this game.
Thank you for the kind words, Alaska. I appreciate you in chat. We have a ton of viewers in here today, just a few chatters. It really helps us keep the vibes going and keep us going through all 4 hours of this this hard work that we're doing. So we appreciate y'all hanging out in chat with us.
Yeah, and we see Harrison's hand here. Another Blood Moon in hand.
Oh, gosh.
You almost want to draw them in most games, but we're stuck in a situation where 1 hasn't been that great, 2, but 3, we're just like really pushing. Our card quality is going down, just drawing moon after moon after moon. When we really want A kill spell.
Something. Yeah, I don't think
Oh.
it's incorrect to play for Blood Moon's main because it is such a banger in game one.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, you run into this thing where you only need one.
Yeah. And I was just wondering, has Harrison forgotten our Bone Crushers on adventure?
It doesn't do too much technically. Everything's in the air, right?
I think isn't this DRC still
I don't think
non-delirious?
there's I don't think we've seen a sorcery or an artifact actually. So these birds have been coming in though.
Oh yeah, if I'm gonna play an Arbor Elf, I'd rather play a Bone Crusher,
You
right?
can't cast the elf with that land.
Oh yeah, we should have had to use the forest.
Yeah, I gotta use the forest there, so make sure that gets.
And can we adjust the life total while we're out there to be visible?
Yeah.
Shout outs to production, they're
Thanks,
incredible hard
Bryce.
workers. We're asking, does Harrison have Fables in their deck? Fable I know is known to be in this deck, but I also know Harrison is returning to the game.
Yeah.
So maybe a non-zero chance we may not have new stuff yet to really upgrade the deck with yet. Banking on some store credit from doing well in the league. Might be time to pick those up.
Exactly. Yeah. So still updating his deck from pre-COVID era. Fable did come out in 2022.
Oh yeah.
So a little bit after Harrison's time.
And the monkey is here.
Gonna dash out, explaining.
Yep, triggering our
how
ledger
that
shredders.
works.
This DRC is not delirious. We've had instant creature land.
There's just a ton in the bin right now. Yeah.
But it's enough. Just Ragavan coming on in with all these big boys.
All right. Andrew will get game one there. You saw his deck on stream earlier, but let's take another look at it again.
And as a forewarning, we don't have a deck for Harrison. There aren't even any goldfish to try to pull from, but that is A-OK. That's the joys of the brew going all the way to 3-0 playing
Yeah.
against this Murktide deck.
No, didn't see any preordains or baubles in that game. It was very unusual.
It's a weird game.
Yeah, it was a fun one for sure. Here is Andrew's full 75 submitted very graciously. Let's take a look at this sideboard. A Magus of the Moon himself and two Blood Moons at the bottom. In the middle, we got some Flusterstorms, Stern Scoldings, Brotherhood, and Mystical Dispute, Engineered Explosives, Dress Down, and an Unlicensed Hearse. I think no.
Okay, Brotherhood's End feels nice. This is kind of a wrath available to us. If we wanted, we've so far seen Magus of the Moon, Arbor Elf, and Bone Crusher Giant. That would clean up all of them. Scolding hits Magus and Arbor Elf.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. If I'm Harrison, I'm going to be boarding out all my moons.
Yeah.
I don't know if they matter. And my Murktide opponent's going to just, on turns 1, 2, or 3, fetch an island.
Yeah. And then be fine.
And if they're a moon deck themselves, they're fully ready. They played almost all of that game locked under the Blood Moon. No problem, no question. And I feel like maybe I just don't want them, don't care.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can bring in maybe these Brotherhoods in. EE is a card you could bring in if you don't know what you're scared of yet. It'll answer a 1 or a 2 drop, I guess, if you're really worried. Like, you don't know where your concerns are. Should I bring in Dress Down? Is something just going to suddenly, it's like, smack me? Should I bring in Unlicensed Hearse? Can I just, like, eat your graveyard and hit you with this huge attacker?
I think, yeah, either Stern Scoldings or Brotherhood ends are pretty good. You're up a game, so I don't think we need to stress too much about boarding, considering we won pretty handily there. And just like, I mean, like Andrew, we're in the dark about what is in Harrison's sideboard. We literally have no idea, like, what could be brought in here.
I'm bringing in Unlicensed Hearse and Mystical Dispute.
Okay.
I think I think I'm bringing in Dispute to just have a mana leak for the card you play that I had no idea you were going to play. Like, if they put Glorybringer on the stack, I'd be like, oh, goodness. Well, I just have this mana leak.
Yeah.
And I think I'm bringing in Hearse because I can play it through the moon. And if I get to a, like, 2, 4, 6, 8 power creature, we'll be good to go.
Yeah, those are all really interesting thoughts. Since we don't have a Ponza deck list to show you, can I interest you in an upcoming standard RCQ? It's RCQ season, baby. And if you want to qualify for RC Dallas and get yourself some expressive iterations for your Murktide deck list, head on over to Nerd Rage Gaming on March 2nd. $30 entry, 11 a.m. start, booster prizes, promos, and an invite to RC Dallas. What more could you want? And if you're hungry for some competitive magic even sooner, we have a series event, our first of the year double showdown weekend in Elmhurst, February 17th and 18th. We're in a brand new location for our Chicago events. We've grown, and so has our location. We are the week before the Pro Tour. We have a double showdown weekend, so 2 people are qualifying. If you scrub out Saturday, you have another chance Sunday. Pioneer and Standard, same formats as the Pro Tour. Check it out. We have several events that you could go to during the NRG series this year. Check them all out on the screen right now. If we come to your area, you should play. We have fantastic events, fantastic people to play against, and we'd love to see you there. I'm going to be there. I'd love to see you there. Come say hi. I'll be at the sales booth. Buy my cards.
Not to mention, if you can scrub out soon enough, you can play the Reese Qs.
There you go. Yeah, so
You
many
already
chances. I think there's 9 different chances to qualify for a regional championship in an energy day, in an energy weekend. Yeah.
Is it one more? Do showdowns, the winners of a showdown get an RC, right?
Yeah, yeah. The winners of a showdown get an RC invite as well as an invite to champs. They get both.
Awesome. That's
Yeah.
a good combo.
Yeah, tons of value. All right, in game 2 here, we'll see an ignoble hierarch come out. Otawara is the first land on Andrew's side of the board.
Not a show of strength.
Not really.
The balloon.
And
Yeah,
ooh,
Stone Rain.
finally.
Probably getting by this Pierce. Good, bring in this Pierce.
Dang, yeah, that's a counterspell, baby.
Against this white border, I think 8th edition Stone Rain.
Yeah,
Great choice.
classic.
If you want to give the Stone Rain rub-ins, pick the new border white border. DRC.
Dragon's Rage Channeler and a preordained trigger on the Dragon's Rage Channeler. I like how Andrew is very clearly doing every single one of his triggers and plays and
Murktide experience. You can see it.
Yeah. Stand-up player helping out Harrison, showing him every bit of information that he needs to know.
I played against Andrew like 6 months to a year ago, and they were playing Murktide. So I think this has just been their jam.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good deck, and he seems to be pretty good at playing it.
Time for the balloon.
The what? Oh,
Blood Moon.
Oh, Blood Moon. You kept saying that. I was like, doubloons? What is he saying?
Yeah, I'll cha-ching.
Balloon.
What is this big? Is this another white-bordered Stone Rain here on the far side of Harrison's hand?
I'd like to see it.
Oh,
I'd like to see some land destruction out of a land
tap,
destruction
tap,
deck.
tap, tap, tap. Choke.
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 Interesting. All right.
That's got to be out of the board for Harrison.
Heck
Great
yeah.
choice of choke.
Islands do not untap.
But he shot this Otawara, not an island.
It's not.
Not an island.
So he will have a blue source available. Islands don't untap during their controller's untapped steps.
Holy goodness. Yeah, show that to this hand of Scalding Tarn. Uh-oh. Yeah, where are you going to find with that? An island?
I mean, you could. You get a turn of using it.
Yeah. I would not recommend a tapped Steam Vents. It'll never untap.
Spire Bluffs
Yeah.
get around chokes, so yes.
This is still going to shut off a large percent of Andrew's mana base.
Indeed, indeed.
The hardest is when you like play choke and they play Spire Bluff and you kind of Spider-Man meme at each other like, oh, never mind.
We have 3 lands now, so any Spire Bluffs played will come in tapped, which is a relevant bit of information there.
Trying to bolt this DRC. Looks like it does happen. Let the Surveil happen. There's the Brotherhood's end.
There you go. So that did get brought in out of the side.
And we're seeing this ignoble hierarch. So there's even more cards to be swept up by this Brotherhood's end.
All right. Preordained sees a polluted delta and expressive iteration. And we will put both of them back on top.
Yup.
Draw the EI.
Yeah.
But we have a fetch on top.
I hope we took out all
we have a fetch on board.
I hope we took out the Blood Moons and brought in these chokes. These are devastating.
I love it. Yeah. Seems like a real good pivot.
And our Stone Rain ate the counter magic.
It did.
And then allowed us to push through with this choke. All right, Harrison, I'm seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm loving it.
Now we need to put some pressure on Andrew. grab a land here.
Yeah. Harrison is fine to get our stomping ground here, and kind of maybe a further indication we may not have Blood Moon effects anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not searching out a pile of forests, but we got to unlock our Glory Bringers.
Yeah, of course. You guys haven't seen it yet tonight, but last time Harrison was on stream, the Glorybringer brought the house down.
And I'm hoping right now, 5 mana? Yes. Yes. Yes, Harrison. Yes.
Do it.
Yes!
Yes! Give that a read. Limited
And
banger.
nothing
Look
to
at
eat?
this.
Just get you for 4. I'll eat
Yeah.
whatever you play later.
Eventually, remember, exert is a mechanic, folks.
Yeah. This card can eat Ragavan, eat DRCs. Oh, yeah. It's going to go munching.
It's got haste, so we'll start smacking there.
Andrew tried to untap that island. Unbelievable.
Straight out of 2017.
Yeah, you're not incorrect, but also it rules.
It rules.
Andrew is getting that one shot at this island. And we played our Odawara.
The Odawara is doing so much work right now.
Yeah, the Odawara.
Actually, so good. Life total check. 14.
First fetch. Damage from the Glorybringer.
Shock.
And did this Iggy do a poke at any point?
Mm-hmm. Oh, Exalted. There you go. Thank
loving
you,
it.
Chatter. There we go. There we go. There
Everything's taken care of. Much love to Chatters, keeping up, letting us know about the Exalted as well. It's a mechanic that just really gets me sometimes.
Ooh, we're gonna use that one-use island for a Murktide. Seems very strong.
Hey, a really important thing about Glorybringer. It deals damage to non-dragons.
Oh my god! Wait!
Yep.
That's crazy. That really sucks for Harrison. Wow. Oh my gosh.
This is the second time I've seen it come up. Last time I saw it come up when Glorybringer tried to eat a Scion of Draco.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, this is the second time.
So you can't Glorybringer another Glorybringer. You
Right.
Can't Glorybringer
That was the whole point, is
a
they couldn't kill each
Murktide.
other.
Yeah. Dang. I know we got some good people in the booth, man. Stuff's crazy.
Big dragon. We thought Glorybringer was big.
I
Murktide's
know.
been a menace for a while. Big 7/7 standing in the way now.
Yeah, get this standard dragon out of here. Here's my master set dragon.
Here's my PT top 8 promo available card.
Oh yeah.
As Glory B has now realized that they're not as big as they thought they once were.
How does I know I'm realizing the same thing. We have stomps. We have
are not big enough.
lightning bolts. This is a 7/7. We need 3 spells to kill this thing.
Yeah. I mean, out of the board, you would just need a destroy target creature with flying, and I don't. That's how green would answer a card like this.
Right, just plummet.
All right, can I pull up a card from the upcoming new set? Pick your poison.
Oh, yes. I heard people talking about this one. It's the Shouldered's Edict I was comparing it to.
Super modal.
Yeah.
It would be an answer to this Murktide right here, right now. Each opponent sacks an artifact, or each opponent sacks an enchantment, or each opponent sacks a creature with flying. So modal. This can kill the ring. This can kill Murktide. This can kill Urza Saga. It's just gonna be munching and munching.
This card seems really good, actually, and it's common.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got a lot of these because I think they're gonna be in a lot of sideboards. So the thing is we snuck through. We played perfectly around this choke, slammed this Murktide. Chad says we're talking about really good into Titan. Yes, but also maybe Harrison has Inferno Titan.
You think he's got an Inferno Titan?
I don't know. But if we attack and Andrew's feeling like they're able and they block the Glorybringer and they take their damage and then we bop them with an Inferno Titan or a Bolt, we have to be very careful. If we try to block this Glorybringer, those are the outs to kill the Murktide.
Yeah. I think Harrison was able to get in for some damage. Andrew opted not to block it. Was playing around.
Yeah, you have to be so careful. Around
Yeah.
just bolt, right?
Yeah.
If you block and you get bolted, that's your Murktide.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Andrew might be sitting on a pile of counter magic and just sitting behind this Murktide.
Yeah, we found another untappable blue source in this fiery islet.
Yep, shout outs.
All right, we are opting to block this time.
Yeah, because we have the counter magic available.
Mm-hmm.
So Harrison needs to have two bolts here, and Andrew needs to not have two counter spells.
Take a damage off the islet.
Counter spell.
Counterspell. Harrison looks so disappointed, man.
It's hard. You come all
That's
this
rough.
way and you
Yeah.
meet up with Murktide and
Yeah, Murktide just doing Murktide things. Go to turn there. Those islands still not untapping, but Andrew doesn't really need them. Gonna start. We got technically 3 turns of damage with this Murktide. Bring Harrison down to 8 here. Your dragon has more life than you do.
yeah, this Murktide is big.
Harrison wondering who printed Counterspell into this format. That's what got George Jabor into Modern.
Yeah, thanks for that one.
Yeah, he saw that card come in MH2 and he's like, I'm in.
I'm back. I'm thinking I'm back.
They've been asking if I'm back.
Express Federation, you want to talk about wild cards you've been around for a while. This is the
Mhm.
only format you can play this card in.
Yep. This card is banned everywhere else. It is really good. From Strixhaven.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Counterspell to hand.
And
Spell
just
Pierce
face up
into
Spell Pierce.
exile. Interesting. Because you got to pick something.
Yep.
Harrison about to leave again. No, please. We just got
No.
him back.
Harrison's having a good time, just maybe not in the last rounds.
Yeah.
Out here putting in work.
A 3/1's nothing to sneeze at. And he's not out yet. Not dead yet.
Not
We
dead
could
yet.
we could find something. We could find another Glory Bringer. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm just imagining the upgrades to this Ponza deck. When you get Fable, when you get Ragavan, you start like really pushing the power here.
Yeah.
You're forced to be reckoned with. We're thinking using some greens. Oh,
Draw a card. Yeah. Utopia
that one does
Sprawl.
not draw a
Oh,
card.
it doesn't?
Utopia Sprawl actually nets mana. You're thinking of Abundant Growth that they played in the 4-color decks that draw a card.
Oh. Iggy beats.
Yeah, it's just it doesn't quite match up to the giant, huge Murktide beats.
Oh, did Harrison 3/1 last week?
I
as
believe
well?
so.
Oh, my bad. I thought he 4-0'd.
And they're staying at the
Might be,
tippity
might be.
toppity. Shadow Wizard money game. We love casting spells.
Harrison down to 1 here. See if he's got anything.
Questing
Whoa!
bees.
How
Attacks
about
for
a
5?
card? How about a card with a bunch of freaking
Attacks for
text on
5.
it?
It'd be a real shame if Andrew had a non-delirious.
Oh,
No.
the counter spell. The beast can't be countered?
Oh, well, yep. It
Maybe not.
can.
It
That-
can.
That's
Yeah,
not
it
on
can.
there.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, wait.
Woo-wee.
I got scared for a second.
There
I was like,
was-
there's no way that card is also uncounterable. That'd
There
be
was a
freaking
moment.
nutty. Just soul
Ooh.
text.
There was a moment. Oh, where the QB was coming in, but
Oh,
just
man.
one too many counter spells. It looks like Andrew here, real quick, revealing the non-islands that are in the deck. The choke was incredible, but I think Andrew playing around it was even bigger.
Absolutely. Andrew on Murktide will advance to 4-0. Fantastic performance tonight. Harrison, great performance as well. Another 3-0 under his belt will give himself some good points on that leaderboard. Let's look at that leaderboard one more time. We will update it and post it on our Discord after tonight. Here are the standings at the beginning of the night, though. Adam Weiss sitting at that top spot. George DeBoer we had on earlier. Danny we had on tonight, Ray and Marty, lots of strong players in the building, and they will continue to be in the building for all 12 weeks of our Modern League. That was our last match of the night, though, and that'll wrap up our feature match coverage for tonight. Before we go, we're going to do a quick couple of ad reads, but I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I think this might have been our most viewed stream yet.
Ooh, keep it up.
I try not to look at the viewer count too much because it makes me a little nervous.
Just keep
But
ratcheting them up, though. Tell your friends, tell your dad, whoever. Get them to tune in. Let's keep ratcheting
hit
it
that
up.
follow button. Remember to ring that bell to get notified in case you forget. We're live every Wednesday night at 6:30. Before we go, though, let's look at our weekly schedule. We offer 5 different TCGs to play at our store, and here's how you can play them. Monday is Commander and Digimon. Tuesday is Lorcana and One Piece. Wednesday is Modern. Thursday is Commander and Pokemon. Friday, Legacy, Standard, and One Piece. And Saturday is Digimon and Open Play. If you're looking to buy some Magic cards, head on over to nerdragegaming.com. We have Karlov uploaded right now. So add them to your wish list and get notified as soon as we start listing them starting tomorrow. You can pick up on Friday or get them shipped out to you countrywide. We ship all over the country, Puerto Rico, U.S. Army bases, the whole lot of them. I shipped to a submarine today, or I don't know. It was like the USS something.
Whoa.
We ship everywhere, buddy. I've shipped to a prison before. Come get your cards at nerdragegaming.com. Folks, it's been a pleasure doing commentary tonight. Dom, it's been a pleasure to have you as well.
Thank you for having me.
You're killing it, King.
You're killing it, Quan.
Thank you. Folks, have a good night. Take care.
Toodles.